Quran, the Torah, and all the Hinduism books and everything back and front, trying to understand the faith. This faith is called, I don't know, Godelism, something like that. Okay? And we haven't seen anything that proves that this God does exist. You know why?
Exactly.
Because mostly, if you put your eye into it, it's all about actually enslaving people into believing into myths and into making
Exactly.
people lose their self within that religion,
Okay.
not knowing who they are.
Yeah. So
You understand?
so
Not giving us
Let's
even
not
a
know-
chance to learn the things of the world.
okay.
The only thing that you know as a child, as you are born, you grow up into a certain age and start to go to church or go to mosque or go to the Knesset, and you only going and following your parents. But then after that, a person grows up. You know, you get, and now there's now a new way of finding out things. There's the internet. You know, it's not like back then. It's not like back then. Back then, you follow your parents and we go into church and all that. You don't even ask questions. You just follow. It's more like follow. You understand? So,
So what
yeah.
I'm saying,
So,
right? No, I understand your point, right? If you want me to kind of retort, right? So what I'm saying is the same way that led you to read the Quran, the same way that led you to kind of discover what is in the Bible, was you to kind of find out what is accurate for you, and for what you weigh every information and to kind of believe what you believe. Other people will say, yes, God is there, right? And other people will say, this is rubbish. I like my sister, the Afro atheist, says, no, this is totally rubbish. It doesn't. But at one point, it's scale. I would say it's a sliding scale, isn't it? On the other end, you believe that God is there. On the other end, you believe that there is no God at all. But there are also other people in the middle that are still questioning. Is that right?
Okay, there are people who believe, there are people who are not sure, and there are people that don't believe. Okay, so
yeah, no, because you asked me a question, where are you? Are you a Christian? Are you a thing? And I said I'm still questioning. And other people were saying, no, you can't be still questioning.
10:30. Let me tell you this. You read the whole Bible, you read other manuscripts, and yet still the whole fundamental principle behind religion is belief, not knowledge. When you go through this process, you're supposed to obtain knowledge. You don't obtain no knowledge with the Bible. What you do is obtain a conscript to a belief system where you're just hoping after death you can prove it either wrong or right. Whoever die will come back and tell you anything that is that whether it's wrong or right. You got to be realistic. Religion retired the mental faculty from critical thinking. And that is why they forced the Bible upon Africa. Because what they want to do is keep us submissive, suppressed, and exploited with impunity because we don't think critically for ourselves. And we remain in a state of mental retardation.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So I'm happy.
Hang on. Can I ask you a question about something that you said? You said you wanted to talk to me about my faith, and I said
no. I didn't say. I said
the lack of.
I like your faith. Your faith in that you've got faith that God does not exist. Not that I wanted to talk to, but there's something that I want to talk to you about.
But I don't need faith to hold that position.
So how do you know that God doesn't exist?
Deductive.
There's no faith in it.
Wait,
there's no faith in it.
Let the person answer the question. I think and I'm not trying to trap you in any way, but I'm saying, how do you know that God doesn't exist?
Deductive reasoning.
Okay, what's the deduct? How would you deduct that it doesn't exist?
By looking at the books, looking at the claims, right? And just taking my little marker at each and every single claim of the Bible and trying to work out whether this was true or not.
So are you kind of basing it on maybe the three Abrahamic religions that you've read, the Quran, you've read the Bible and all this kind of thing, and you've deducted from those three books to say, you know what, this does not make sense? Or is it something that is broader?
That and just listening to the claims of people and their religious beliefs, a lot of them seem very far-fetched. A lot of them seem very out there. And Judge Judy, I love watching Judge Judy. She always says something. She says, if something sounds too good to be true, it's probably
then it's too good to be true. Yeah,
it's probably a lie.
Yeah, and you know,
Exactly.
and the funny, you know,
Exactly.
the funny thing. Wait, let me just land on this one. The funny thing is, you said something that I really wanted to ask, because you said, "Oh, I was on YouTube and I was discussing the African religions." That's what I wanted to ask, to be honest, when I came, and it was so funny that, you know, it all got together, and I was like, "Oh, you know, what happened?" So the reason why I'm asking about, you know, when you said your deductive reasoning and stuff, do you also believe that in the African context, God does not exist?
When you say the African context, for a lot of African belief systems, they don't even have the concept of God.
They do?
A lot of them don't have the concept.
No, let me speak from my perspective, right?
Okay,
and from what I know.
A lot of them don't have the thing you call God. That's something that's been, it's a very recent thing, the concept of God.
No.
For a lot of the African belief systems, they believe in gods with small g, right? God of the rain, God of thunder, God of the new season, just all different ones. And in this, in most cases, their gods are their gods work for them. Their gods don't look out to punish or look out to harm them, but rather their gods are more
helpful,
like a helper,
and non-judgmental, isn't it?
So the concept of God, in a lot of cases, when it comes to African spirituality, it's a bit of a stretch when you try and insert the Abrahamic idea of God to African spirituality. It just does not work. It doesn't work.
And this is exactly like my point. Okay, so I'll give you a context.
Hey, Oscar,
I've got nothing to hide. So I'm from Zimbabwe, right?
Okay.
And, you know, before colonization and all this kind of thing, you know, where there were missionaries that came, right? So there was a belief in God, which is Mwari, and they call him Sikarano. That means the creator of human beings and all this kind of thing. You know, a lot of the information has been lost because of the colonization and everything else, but they believe that is monolithic, or whatever, the one God or something like that, and, you know. And so I am aware that when I say the African spirituality, there is no one monolithic spirituality. There's many, but that's why I've kind of put myself in a corner that I come from Zimbabwe, and this is what I believe in, all this kind of thing. So, but I'm saying from that context, do you also believe that those God, you know, that God does not exist, or those gods do not exist?
Okay.
Or is it
can you do me a favor? 10:30. Can you define God, please?
Okay, so God is like the creator, right? The giver of the creator, the one that created the earth, the human beings, right? The one that kind of gives sustenance to human beings.
Afro, please. I always want to ask questions. My brother, whatever you're saying, I've heard it. But what kind of God are you describing right now?
No, it doesn't really, because that's why I'm asking.
Because there's no one God. There's no one God. So which one are you? Which one are you describing right now?
Okay, which is fine. Yeah. So this is the thing that I'm asking, because when you say that there's no God, and that's why I asked, like, how do you know that there's no God? And you say,
Okay.
wait, let me land, then I'll give you a chance. Then it was through deductive reasoning, right? So, and when you say, oh, what kind of deductive reasoning? We start talking about the scriptures, that are written, or they've been written thousands of years, right? And so, but I'm also saying, when you get to
sorry, do you have a proof of that those scriptures were written actually thousands of years ago?
No, but whatever.
Oscar, would you like to?
Okay. What I'm saying.
Hold on
right?
1 second. Hold on.
Sorry.
Oscar, would you like to come up at some point when I've got a free space available? Would you like to come up? Okay. So Oscar says that defining a God is an argument from ignorance. The no God is a lame excuse for shifting the burden of proof. Okay, Oscar, I'll bring you up so you can have that conversation in a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, he's absolutely correct. The defining of God is indeed where the absence of God, where the absence of education, the presence of God abounds. And in many cases, where the failure of education is prevalent, the successful of religion becomes more evident.
So what's education? Or how would you define education?
Brother, it looks like you're going all around. We started somewhere.
I'm just following.
No. Listen, brother. Listen.
Oh yes. By the way, guys. Sorry. Just so you all know that Ricky's here as well, so we don't know him. Hey, Ricky.
Hi,
Ricky.
I am from Jamaica. I am from the island that they call Jamaica. But I am very interested in knowing about the difference between the spiritualities and religion. I was always taught that spiritual stuff belongs to source and religious stuff belongs to men, because these are the laws of men. Men put up laws to try to enslave.
Sorry, Ricky. You said religious stuff belongs to where?
Men.
So religion belongs to men.
Yeah.
And
and spiritual
belongs to
the spiritual people. So
yeah,
those who don't know about spiritual. All right, and let me explain a bit.
Okay.
As I said, I was told and I grew up in this thing in Jamaica. I am trying to find out the origin of what many people call Africa. The name, where is it coming from? And if it's under the colonizers, it will be religion, because they stray away from the origin.
Yeah.
So therefore, they have all right to do what they want to do, because a lot of people keep on saying we are Africans. The ancestors, they did not accept it. They stood for what they believe. And because of that, they had the victory. So I'm trying to find, I need some knowledge about the spirituality or the spiritual part of Africa. Sorry, not Africa. What was the name before Africa?
Alkebulan.
Because why is it now that persons don't accept that name and take it from out of the colonizers, which is religion?
Yeah.
And this is causing a problem, because the entire globe, the entire universe, entire creation, they know Alkebulan. And because
I don't think they do.
Yeah, they know. I'm talking about the ancient days before it was actually changed.
Yeah.
Because Alkebulan carried the DNA of creation, and which we do carry. So if they change the name, automatically they try to change the DNA.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not guys,
Africa was named after Africanus,
when we start having these kind of conversations that I don't know, I like to have a bit of context, a bit of sources, when you're saying the change they, and when people use the word they did this, and they did that, and can you be more specific about who the they is, right? When you say they changed our DNA, okay, who is they? Who are these people called they?
The infamous families behind the curtains.
Right. So these are.
Let's put it that way.
They are. Yeah. They are. If you understand how they write the things, they say human beings, and it's a difference between human beings and being human. There's a difference. Being human is the spiritual side of us. So we operate spiritually and not under religion. So Alkebulan, the love of Alkebulan need to return to the people and take it out of religion. There the power will come and all the spiritualities will happen.
Can I ask, sir, are you a Christian? Are you a spiritual person?
I don't believe in Christianity.
Okay.
I believe in what my ancestors died for. The truth.
And what could that be? What your ancestors died for?
The truth. They did not accept what was given to them.
Can I ask which ancestors? From where exactly? Which ancestors you on about?
If I tell you, wouldn't believe.
Because when you say my ancestors, that is so broad. I don't know what you're talking about. And ancestors dying for the truth. Who, where, how, when?
History has said it, and many persons read about it. And when it comes to a certain amount,
tell it to me so I can go and check it out myself.
You want to read? Go and check it. All right.
Okay, go on. Yes.
Remember, I said earlier on that I was told, by my past family and relatives that we all were brought here on this island. That this island was not called Jamaica.
It
was called Examaica. So they brought them here.
Okay.
And we actually don't know where we are from in certain parts of the world.
Yes.
Right? So I am trying to find out why is it that the people or the persons in Alkebulan don't stick to the original name. So the spiritual side of life, which is of love, creation, everything, don't ripple across, because everybody is depending on that place that they call, say it is a motherland, it is a motherland, it's a motherland. But the motherland was not Africa. So all these different nations,
Ricky,
yes,
what I consider name just a tag to something, right? Name is just a tag. Spirituality, if we consider something about spirituality, I think it should be deeper than any tag, right? However, most of what we're saying is passed on information that we've been gathering from different folks, and some people write some little excerpt about issues that has been unfolding from time to time. However, I think that what we are trying to clarify now is that religion does not help us in any state, either Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, or whatsoever. These things only destroy our mental faculty. And what we want to do is to educate our brothers, because many of them they don't know that they're in prison mentally. And so when we go back to history, we're just giving them an excerpt of what happened. However, we got to educate them on the effect of what is happening now. And we got to guide them out so that they can do their own research and they can find themselves. We need to find ourselves. I was a Christian. I born in a Christian family. And when I removed from that family, it wasn't easy to get out of Christianity. Until I started studying psychology, I understand what has happened. Because when they use the classical conditioning process on you from an early childhood, you no longer see yourself beyond Christianity. And when people come to challenge you about it, you tend to rebel against them or you want to fight them. As a matter of fact, you consider them not worthy of your friendship. Many people want to fight you.
Correct.
Yeah. And so what happens is that we got to help our brothers and sisters out of this conditionality. Yes, we want to find our ancient past. We want to know where we come from so that we can know where we are going. But how are we going to do that? It can't work by individual. The more we get awakened, the better for us. Because the paradigm shift is now. And if you look across the globe, a lot of African brothers and sisters are questioning. And once they start questioning things and we start leaving this kind of information out there, they themselves going to start waking up. And that information infiltrates your DNA. Let me tell you something. If you look at people who really don't, they might not understand this, but if you look at doctors and nurses and lawyers and these things, they look for someone who have that mental capacity like them. And then when the churn come after, the churn become more educated. The reason why, information stores in your DNA. And once you're informed, you transmit that to your generation. And your generation to generation is going to pass down. And those who coming after going to be better than you. And those who coming after them going to be better than them. That's why you find little children picking up phone. When in certain years ago, some people didn't even know how to press the button. Right? But these children, they just born out of the mother womb and they don't know how to pull screen and move all these things across. You want to know how they know that. Right? So what we got to do.
You see. Yeah. I would like to have a one-to-one with you. Yeah?
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
Yeah.
So I've been told by people that I cannot be an atheist and be an African. That an African person is born automatically with a belief in God, right? So claims some people.
Right.
So now we get to the point.
Yeah.
Sorry, say that again.
No, I said they are lying. They don't know that.
Okay.
Atheists, they don't understand the word atheism. Atheism is the anti-theism, meaning that you're against the religious structure. It has nothing to do with you believing in African culture or practices. Right. It's against the religious structure.
Okay. So now we get to the point where, okay, you walk away from religion and then you get people saying, oh, but you had origin. Your origins were from Africa, the motherland, and why don't you go back to the religion of your forefathers? I've been told this several times. And when I asked the person, this particular one person said, why don't you go back to the religion of your forefathers? Okay. I now asked, okay, right. Can you please tell me what was the religion of my forefathers? Yoruba, the Yoruba deity, Ifa. I'm like, excuse me? My people had absolutely no knowledge of Ifa. They're nowhere from the Yoruba culture. There's no way they would have known any of that sort of thing. And I asked the person, I said, so are you telling me that all my forefathers all believe the same thing? Is that possible? Well, he's just saying that you should go. So I want to ask you, you see, right?
Yeah.
Is it a good idea to go back to the religion of our forefathers? And if you say, whatever your answer is, please tell us, what is the reasoning behind this? Why should we, in 2023, go back to people's primitive beliefs? Don't get me wrong. I respect my I respect my ancestors. Without them, I would not be here. They have passed the baton on to me. I can imagine my ancestors in their graves thinking, come on, girl, we are trusting in you to do better than we did. If we had the opportunities that you had, we would have done way better. And we're banking. That's what I think my ancestors would be saying, right? They would be saying, go on and do, reach for the stars. We got it wrong, but you don't get it wrong. That's what I think. So I would like to know, what do you think? Should we go back to the religion of our forefathers, or should we just accept that we are in the future, well, away from that time, and just try and work through what we have been given now, try and work our way through this? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can. Yeah. So.
What happened to you?
I don't know. Maybe it's cut.
We went to a different dimension.
It's going to the ancestors.
Yeah, Chris Moore. Me too. I was lost. Chris Moore, I was lost on the DNA thing. Yeah, I just, this idea that you're an African, and so because you're African, you go back to, man. This is how we got that. This is the reason why we got here in the first place. This is the reason why we're in the mess that we are in, because we are desperately looking for something that is not lost.
Yeah.
We are desperately looking for something to bow down to. We're looking for something that we must serve at all costs. There must be something out there. There must be something that put us here. There must be a divine plan, right? I can't just be here for no reason. There must be something. Oh, man.
So what led you? What led you? Because I remember you saying that you were a Christian before, right? What led you to start questioning things? I mean, like the original spark to say, you know what, something is not right here.
There were several things. It wasn't just the one thing. There were several things. Just most of them stemmed around just.
Sorry about that. Just now.
Okay, you see. Just questioning, why do I believe what I believe? Is there sufficient reason to carry on holding a belief in that particular religion? Well, it turns out there wasn't sufficient evidence to carry on believing. I had no choice of I didn't choose the religion. The religion chose me. I was born. I'm named after one of the two women in the Bible, for goodness sake. So my destiny, I don't believe in that thing called destiny, but for the purpose of this conversation, my destiny was set from the moment I took my first breath.
But was there any particular trigger? Because obviously,
well, I think one of them was my son. My son came to me when he was 9 years old and said he doesn't want to be a Christian anymore. I was gobsmacked. I didn't know how to handle that. My 9-year-old is telling me I don't want to be a Christian anymore. There I was, Christian mother. I was thinking, yikes, he's going to go to hell and I'm going to be in heaven. Oh, no way can that happen. So I said to him, I asked him if he liked his Christmas presents, because of course he likes his Christmas presents. He said yes. And I said to him that you realize that without Christ, there's no Christmas. And without Christmas, there's no Christmas presents. He said yes. Okay. I said, well, if you're no longer a Christian, you have to forfeit your Christmas presents. And he was looking at me like, Mom. And I had to ask why he didn't want to be a Christian anymore. He said, well, he was told that Jesus died in such a horrific manner. There was blood everywhere. He said, Mom, you know I don't like blood, right? I said, yes, I know. He said, I don't want that. How could I tell my son that because God loves you, that's why he died? He had to, go through, because my son is autistic. He takes things very literally.
Yeah, and I work
he
in that
doesn't
field.
know nuance. He doesn't know, everything has to be this way with him, straightforward.
Black and white, yeah.
How are you bleeding? How is someone dying in this manner? And he's supposed to identify with that. So for him, it was a big struggle. And here I was, instead of listening to him and validating his story, I was trying to invalidate. He had a point. He was struggling with this. And here I was trying to say, no, you can't be this. I left the conversation feeling very, very bad. That I was trying to do that to my son. Even though I was a Christian, I was thinking, okay, no, that was wrong. So I then went away asking myself, from the conversation with my son, went away asking myself, okay, so but why did Jesus have to die though? This child has a point. An innocent man was killed in such a horrific manner. Does he have a point for not choosing Christianity? So I went away asking, why did Jesus have to die such a horrific death? Could there have been another option? Did Jesus really have to go through that? Could Daddy not just forgive Adam and Eve and just be done with it? That way he wouldn't have to sacrifice his son now, right? And now my 9-year-old wouldn't have the struggles that he's having. So anyway, let's just say that was just one of the things. And secondly, when I was told that Jesus wasn't white, that was a game changer for me. Every time I closed my eyes to pray, I saw a white Jesus, right? We had I can still describe,
and the blue eyes.
I can still describe God. I can describe Jesus. When I closed my eyes, I saw people. I saw them in my, these were the people I prayed to, and now I was told that they're not white. I was really struggling, and I was in the Church of England I was working my way to becoming a priest in the Church of England. So I went to the Reverend Father and had a sit down with him to ask him, I've been told that Jesus is not white. What do you think? And he said, yes, it's true. Jesus wasn't white. I'm like, hang on. So He said, yeah, he knows. He's a white man. He said to me that was the lie that the church sold to the world, and that the church really needs to apologize for that lie. That he thinks that Jesus was a black Rastafarian it was dark, proper dark skin, darker than myself, and had Rasta hair. That's the image this white man sees. How come me, a black person, I'm seeing a white Jesus? How? So anyway, he said the church lied to the world, and the church needs to apologize. He said, you know what? Go back. Just he could see that I was struggling. He said, okay, Christians, our focus should not be about Jesus's race or ethnicity. Our focus should be on his message, what he came to do. So he said to me, go back and just focus on what Jesus came to do. And of course, I was asking, what exactly did Jesus come to do? Jesus came to be a sacrifice to his daddy, right? Jesus was the sacrifice. Wait, he sacrificed himself to himself to create a loophole.
It still doesn't make sense.
Us to go into
that really
heaven.
You see what happened?
Wait, hold on. To go into heaven, so we can avoid the hell that Daddy God has created. I mean,
Yeah, you know, I think as humans we have a superiority complex, right? Sorry, you know, before I even say anything, thank you for your story and thank you for opening up. That's a very lovely story, and the way you narrated it, it's a beautiful story to kind of hear, you know, the steps that you were taking to kind of where you are today. And it's so good to hear someone just being open, because I feel like a lot of people just debate to win, but you are just bringing out the story where the struggles have been. That's why I wanted to kind of understand, right? But when
and I had to cross the whole of Africa to go and look for Jesus. So me, I didn't work hard. I had to cross all of Africa, right to the birth land where they said he was born,
my
and
sister,
right to the river where he was walking. I didn't see any signs of him.
Way to God land
to
Israel. Go and look for God. She went to Israel. She went to Israel. She went searching for God in Israel, and she came away. She came away. She didn't find God.
Well, you see, all of these was carefully orchestrated to keep us in this kind of submissive state. And the guy who said that Jesus is black, this is carefully planned. The reason why they're trying to say Jesus is black now is to keep you in the fold. But many people still have that white picture in their mind, because when they tell you it as a black person now, you're going to say, well, look, I'm feeling comfortable in my ignorance and I accept that Jesus is black and rather than he's white. But when you see the picture on the wall, it's a white picture. And the white structure is to create a situation in the mind where you see the white as good and you are as bad. Because if you look at with the Bible and the little stories they used to give us in our early days in school, Baba Black Sheep, and everything that is black is bad, and everything that is white is good, and the white angels and the white this and all the white that. So all these things reconstructed in our minds as a computer, because our mind is actually a computer. And when it's reconstructed in the computer, we become submissive. Let me tell you something. When a white man comes to our community, we treat him like God. But when we go to their community, they kill us. You see, because they've conditioned our mind. We've been domesticated to think the way we are.
Yeah.
And some of the intelligent ones are trying to be.
Please, guys, please make sure, please make sure you're tapping on your screens, and please do share. For those of you who are on YouTube, this is being streamed on YouTube, so please make sure to follow me on YouTube, The Afro Atheist. Those on YouTube, would you like me to open up the conversation? Would you like to engage in conversation on YouTube as well? I could do that. Just open it up and have people talking on YouTube. If that's something you want to do, please let me know. I was going to say something else. Oh, and guys, please watch this space. We're going to be doing godless dating very soon, right? Because
great.
You know, when we have people who come away from religion, what you find is, for a lot of people, it's like a loss of identity. It's a huge struggle. It is big for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Imagine being born. I was 40 years old when I walked away from religion and realized it was all a pack of lies. And so being born into this thing, and you come away, now you're like, okay, I don't know where to begin, you know. And you've been told when you're looking for
like you're in the wilderness.
When you're looking for a mate, you have to look for a God-fearing individual. We don't do God-fearing. We don't do God-fearing at all. So what
you know, that's you know, Afro, it's one of the reasons it's been hard for me to date after my divorce, because everybody is God-fearing, and everybody they've never sinned, and everybody they carrying a Bible. It's either a Bible or they're carrying a Torah, or they're carrying a Quran. And me, I wouldn't like to actually associate with anything that has a Bible, Quran, Torah in it. Because it took me a long time to actually walk away from that. I don't want another person that is going to enter my life and try and poison me. On top of that, poison my children. Yes.
Exactly. There's a reason why they said train up a child in the way you should, because they want you to program your children, and then they program the children. It's a big scheme. And what has happened, I always tell people, train a child to pray when there's a problem, create an adult who can't find solution when there's a crisis. And look at my African brothers and sisters. When there's problem, they run to church and ask pastors to pray for them. But when it gets critical, they got to go to the hospital, or they got to seek help from other places, right? So we need really a serious revamping of our mental faculty. We need to remove from this mental poison that has destroyed our mind from critical thinking.
See, I asked you a question and you remember you cut out. I still ask you that question. Why should I go back to the religion of my forefathers? Should I?
No. Well, what happened? Because one of the things that we have lost, they destroy everything from us. Most of what we have is just a scaled down model. We as the younger generation, we understand life from a more realistic perspective. We should make what we have better. We should seeking knowledge rather than settling for belief. Most of what we our parents practicing was a form of belief system. Some of them tried what's what you call, I think those from Haiti, they practice voodoo and all these things. I'm not too much aware of that. I think we need to be more realistic. This is modern time, and we got to develop modernity. We got to engage in modernity, where we develop our security, both financial and social. And in order to do that, we must be realistic. Most of the things we are searching for, we cannot find. So what we need to do is become real in life. We need to understand life from a realistic perspective and challenge the status quo. Become more educated, do more research.
Can I
definitely 100% agree with you.
Can I ask you, UC, and everyone else?
Yes.
Do you believe in the supernatural? This spirit realm, this place where these spirit beings exist, good and bad. The angels there, the demons there, the dead people are dead. The dead people that have died, they're dead too. Some people contact these dead people. Some people see the demons. The demons somehow come here to for some weird reason. These demons only seem to go looking for the people who believe in them and attack only the folks who believe in them. They only look for those Bible believers, Quran believers, or those ones. But for people like us who don't believe in them, they don't bother us.
Because they want to hold them hooked up. You understand? Right? They want to keep on
Some people even have sex with these spirit people, right?
Yeah.
So I would like to know, I personally, if I cannot see it, if I can't touch it, if I can't feel it, if I can't smell it, if I can't hear it,
you don't know what it is then.
It ain't there.
Right.
Exactly.
But some people claim they know, then they don't know, because they can't even see, they can't demonstrate, they're just interpreting their experience as being that, and then claim they know, which they don't know.
Well, one of the things that I had some experiences that I don't understand, and I don't claim nothing. As a matter of fact, what I stated, I could remember one night I was I bought a land way down in the jungle area, and had a small house in that land.
Make sure to share, please, guys. Only one share. Hey, it's a very important conversation. Oh, come on, guys.
Yes, and I had an experience where I was lying down. I feel this weight upon me. And by the time I close my eye, I jump up back. I couldn't move no part of my body.
You see, please hold on to that thought. Please just hold on to that thought for a second. God is Yahweh. You said that you think that they have an effect on my life and that they control me more than I know. God is Yahweh. Do me a favor and tell them to please leave me alone. Right? Tell them that I said they should just fuck off and go away and leave me alone. These spirit people who are bothering me, do me a favor and tell them to do one. I don't believe in them. What is this? Is it by force? Something I don't believe in. Now they want to impose themselves on me. That's abusive, eh? That is abuse. I don't want nothing to do with you. So even if you do exist, I want nothing to do with you. And here you are trying to insert yourself in my existence. What the fuck is wrong with you? I don't bother you. You're in your spirit world over there with your daddy God and daddy Jesus.
Can I just add something to
so leave me the fuck alone. So Yahweh, what did you call it? God is Yahweh. Tell them that I said they should go away. Otherwise, I will deal with them mercilessly.
Can I just add something to your point?
And to even see that actually these religions are going bankers, eh? Even in Church of England, they just changed that God from now it shouldn't be called a him, should be called it's a multisexual God. They them. Like what is that? Like seriously? The next thing now, they're now gonna get not the New Testament, the latest testament. It's gonna be added on top of that New Testament. Do you get me? So, like, seriously, now where are we going? You know? Wow.
Sorry, you see, you were saying. Sorry to have interrupted.
They can't hide it like too long. They got to use different tactics to hide it. Yes. Back to your question, host, that you asked me earlier on. I don't believe in none of these structures. Once you don't see them, then it makes no sense. There are a lot of questions that I ask and things that I experience that makes me ask questions. However, I don't pronounce on them. I don't make no claims on them. Intuitively, what we plant in our minds, that will automatically comes out through different reality. And so it's a way of how these things are being implanted in your mind, because Islam will say something about jinns and all kinds of things. Christianity will say about demons and all things. But if you look at the Christian faith, the same God that created good created both evil. Because Isaiah 45:7 said, I create light, I create darkness, I create both good and evil. And now the Lord God does all these things. But the Christian would not believe that God is evil. They would say, oh, no, God is not evil. God is the good doer. It's when Satan comes to earth, he did all the evil things. Now, God is all-knowing. Didn't he know that Satan would have done all these things? And so you find that a lot of things in Christianity would allow people to wake up. Because if you talk about an all-powerful God, all-knowing God, who sees everything, but when you go to Genesis 18:20-21, you hear God had to go down to Sodom and Gomorrah to verify for himself whether or not what is happening is true.
And look for Adam and Eve. And look for Adam and Eve.
Eskilo, remember you told us this the other day?
Yep.
Yep. So this God is all around, recording everything, but yet still you gotta find God gotta come from somewhere to do something. You gotta pray to this God for help. You like God don't know that you need help. So you gotta pray to him. You gotta worship this God so that God could know that you're worshiping him. God testing people. The way where you testing something, you're testing to verify it and validate that it's working good. So why God need to test? God didn't know that the thing is working good. Why God need to test people's loyalty? All these things, yeah.
You see, the Bible is contradictory, because in other parts it does say that God knows basically everything. But you see, early in the thing is that sometimes some persons in the research scholars realize that the concept of God evolved over time, and with the say Hebrews, right? the concept of God and the characteristics kind of evolved. So at one point early, you have had where God was described as bodily, having the body of a man and walking in the garden and doing these things, right? Human characteristics. Then it expanded into God filling a temple or throwing his throne in a temple. Then it expanded to God is being in part of the entire universe. So it's an evolution of thought. So it's kind of like contradictory. So what was he then? Was he just a man walking in the garden, a deity, divine walking in the garden? Was he occupying a temple and that was his throne? And now is the earth his throne? You know, it's contradictory. Well, you see that development in the Bible, right? So now Christians think that it is just, oh, God knows everything, blah blah blah. They don't realize that there was contradictions, you know, because when as you said, when Adam and Eve, quote unquote, sin, which ain't really sin, right? It said God came down to walk in the cool of day and was searching for Adam and Eve. Clearly, then he didn't know.
Yeah.
He had no clue.
Yeah, not only that, God knows that the devil is going to tempt Adam and Eve, and he put the devil right in the garden, threw them right where Adam and Eve is going to be. Isn't God?
Well, it wasn't the devil, you know. The Christians eventually said it's the devil, but it was a serpent.
You see,
yeah.
You see,
no. Serpent didn't tempt them.
That one you just said is wrong. So
yes,
God threw down Lucifer down here. He threw him down, which is fine. He got rid of his problem, right? He got rid of his headache.
Yeah.
And then he now decides, right, I'm going to make man in my image. Guess where he decides to create that man?
Right where he showed it, Lucifer.
The very same place where he threw down his own mortal enemy. And what was he expecting? What was he thinking? Just think about it this way. Just think about it, guys.
If Lucifer can fight against him,
here's your enemy, right? You've gotten rid of your enemy, but that beef is still very active, right? Then you now take your child and you go and put your child in the enemy's den, and you walk away and leave that child there. What do you think is going to happen?
Exactly.
Your enemy the child had knowledge. Your enemy will just stand there, right? Who has an active beef with you will now be looking at your child and be what do you think is going to happen? So that God, in my opinion, is very useless. A very useless, bumbling according who didn't know what he was doing. Sorry.
According to the book, they eat from the tree of knowledge. Now you tell them not to do that. That means that they didn't have knowledge. So now they eat from the tree of knowledge. You're punishing them for eating from the tree of knowledge because it takes knowledge to know right from wrong. Isn't that so? Yeah. So now they eat from the tree of knowledge. Now they know right from wrong. You're going to punish them for that. And he knows that they don't know right from wrong.
I wish you could come up.
So this kind of conversation brings awareness to those who are listening, because they understand that religion has been set in motion to keep us the way we are. Because if you look at the Central African Republic, there was a war between the Muslims and the Christians. Where is the God to part the fight to say, well, look, you're all fighting for the wrong God. I'm the right God.
Oscar, remind me what exactly it was again about Adam and Eve. I completely forgot. At 10:30. I have a question for you. Are you still there?
Yes, I am here.
So 10:30, you said you are questioning, yes?
Yes.
So where are you at with your questioning? What is the thing that is doing it for you that you think, no, I'm better off still holding on to Daddy God. Let me hang on for my dear life to this God that is threatening to burn me in eternal hell. Don't forget, this God says, narrow is the path that leads to his kingdom. Very narrow. So the majority of your Christians are not going there anyway. Majority of believers are not going to go there. It's just the reality. It's the reality of your belief that you're not going to get there. So we are together.
Yes,
we are together on that broad path. You and me. I'm already there. I've taken my seat. Me, Raskido, UC, Phil, and we're comfortable. But you see, you are there with us. You just don't know it.
You know.
So please tell me, what exactly is your where are you at on your questioning journey?
So my questioning journey is like, you know, I look at the world more globally, meaning like I take everything into consideration to say, okay, you know.
All right.
So when you say God, right, does it mean God of the Roman Catholic? Does it mean God of the Jews, like in terms of Yahweh, you know, Abraham that came? Does it mean God as we know with the Egyptians and stuff? Does it mean God as in Ifa, or does it mean God as in Moari and all this kind of thing, right? But there's one common thread that runs to say God is there, right? And I'm aware of, you know, one of your arguments is to say that because these negative stuff that are written maybe in the Bible, these are written and all this kind of thing, if God is there, how can he impregnate this, and how can he allow death and all this kind of thing? But when you start to look at the world as a whole, right, it's just like, how come animals eat meat? Why should a lion? Why doesn't it just eat grass? You know, I'm looking at
how come animals eat meat.
Yeah, like a lion in the savannah, right? Instead of just eating grass and everyone living peacefully, right? I know it's kind of.
But hang on, Mr. Half Past 10. Is the grass not a living thing?
That's what I'm saying. Right?
The grass is not going to live peacefully now if everybody eats the grass.
That's it. That's it. Right?
That is a living thing.
Meaning that the world is complex, right? In that how we interact in terms of why is this happening? Because we all don't know, right? We all don't know why certain things happen in a certain way. But does that disprove that there is no God? Not really. Those points do not disprove that there is no God, right? Other people, like you were talking about the white Jesus, you know, like or the white angels, the white God, and you believe for a long time that these were gods. But we know that in the 15th century, these were changed in Italy or in the Renaissance and all this kind of thing, for people to embellish what they considered so that they can be on top. And other people like Africans, you know, my mom died in the same way, believing that God was white and all this kind of thing. But because that God is not true, that someone embellished it, or someone was trying to get on top, or a pastor is lying and asking for money. But do we say that disproves that God does not exist? Not really. It doesn't.
So half past 10. So why are we eating meat and vegetables? Please. Now back to you. Thank you.
Why are we eating? I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Right? But it's cruel because it's a living thing, right? Catching a chicken and cutting the throat, you know.
Is plants a living thing?
Pardon?
Are plants a living thing?
Yeah, they're a living thing.
Right.
Right? So why do we eat? Why don't we just breathe air?
But you have to eat because you need the energy. You need certain nutrients. That's the way animals and living things have evolved to feed on other living things to get nutrients because they're organic. All living things usually are made up of organic. So we need those. We need those mainly organic.
No, I know, and it's, my question is more a rhetorical question, right? Because we can still go around and round. But what I'm saying is, we are all living things, right? And the nature that we're catching something that is breathing and eating it and doing this, even like you say, even plants, right? Someone says, "Oh, I'm gonna be a vegetarian because I don't want to be cruel to animals," but a plant is a living thing, right? But what I'm trying to get to, my point is,
I think though, now you make that point, right? I think that in terms of it is not because it's a living thing. It is because they're saying that the animals are more sentient beings. They're sentient. They have more feelings, right? The pain that is caused. So it is more not because they're living things, but because of their level of sensitivity. Usually that's the argument, from the level of sensitivity, and not necessarily that they're because they're living things.
No,
okay, that's I think on that subject, that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah, it's a complex subject, right? But my point really is that, I think this thing of simplifying it, and because sometimes we oversimplify something and say A and B, because A and B is happening, C does not exist, right? Is that argument of causation, isn't it? So are we really sure, or are we just having, that's why I say, I admire your faith that to say that God does not exist. Because you have to have so much faith to say God does not exist.
No. You don't have have to have so much faith. There's a lot of things that will indicate that very likely God does not exist, more so than that he likely exists. But the person that is making the claim, the positive claim that God exists, they need to provide evidence, and they have not provided actual evidence. So you can't come and say God exists when you still don't have evidence to show that he exists. What we are saying is that that we have not been presented with any evidence. We don't see any good evidence that any God exists, so hence God does not exist. But not that no gods exist. There's a slight difference. Some people are what you call hard atheists that will say absolutely no. Some will say no in the sense of we don't have any good evidence, so until we have such evidence, it is no, right? So it's not that you have to disprove, because you can't disprove that invisible creature. Neither can you prove. You have to bring actual evidence to show that God exists, and not evidence from design. It has to be extraordinary, some I don't know beyond. And the God concept is not falsifiable, because we don't have a universe to say.
True. Sorry, Dr. Phil.
We don't have a universe to compare. A universe. What is a universe without a God? We don't have one to say that there's a universe before God or a universe before God to compare.
So
hold on.
What it does?
Hold on.
Sorry.
Phil,
yeah.
Just a quick note. Apparently, your mic is a bit too loud. It's overpowering.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to lower my voice a little bit because I'm using my phone. Sorry.
Okay, let me do something quickly. I hope you all can hear. This is okay. So my friend has left me this voice note. I think that this is very important, and I hope you guys can.
Hi, Esther. Good evening. I cannot stay for too long. The issue with Adam and Eve is the rib, right? They think that Adam and Eve are two different people, but genetically they had to be the same. So Eve is the clone, the clone business, yeah, right? So they have to solve that problem first. We know that because of genetics. The people at that time, when they wrote the Bible, they did not know about DNA, right? And Eve is 100% Adam in a female format, right? That's the claim, or that's what I'm trying to point out. Okay, so Eve is Adam identical, but in female. Yeah.
Okay.
It won't be identical.
Oh, wait, now you want to tell me that
No.
Eve or Adam made himself or herself pregnant?
Pregnant.
No,
I think he's saying that the DNA. But he's not correct. I can tell you why he's not correct.
That's Oscar, right? That's Oscar.
Right. But I can tell you why he's not correct.
Okay, go on.
Because the DNA will have to be different. If it is the same, he will look at Eve will look exactly like Adam because of what we call mitosis, where you have asexual reproduction produces identical offspring to the parents. Sexual reproduction produces variation. That's why we don't look exactly like our parents. So right?
Asexual reproduction will produce exact same.
Identical offspring, yeah, because it's almost like a clone, quote unquote. Unless you have a mutation happening at that point.
What if she was the exact same? She looked exactly like, but just had female.
Then it will be. She might be male then, because then based on it probably might have been male, or it depends on how if they had the brain of a maybe he felt like even though I have male looking characteristics, probably the brain state probably was that of a woman. but the thing is, it will not work that way. The way that he's saying it, no, it would not. It would never be that way.
Well,
right? Because a clone.
It didn't happen because.
Well, it didn't happen. But I'm saying, Landon, that he's.
And what about sickle cells?
No. It will not work. That genetics don't work.
So that means for people that are married, right? If a man is married, that means he has one less rib in his
thing, and he has a full complement, both of them. So.
But then there is no missing ribs. I don't understand.
There's no missing ribs. There are none.
But what I don't understand, God can create Adam from the dust. Just now he wants to create.
He got woman from the rib.
He has to go and fetch a rib. I hope you can see how the story itself starts to put women in a very in a very dicey situation where when we created man, we created him in our own image. There was thought went into creating him. There was a plan. But when we wanted to make woman, we had to first of all give all the animals their own mates. Then we had to give the man a task to go looking at the genitals of the animals to figure out which one belongs to him. He couldn't find one he could mate with. And God looks and says, oh, but he's very lonely. Let me go produce one, put him to sleep, and get a rib from him. And voila, here you go. Take your woman. They're like, what? And you know what? The person who is telling us this tale, Moses, I think Moses was hiding in the bushes. Moses was in the bushes watching as God was breathing into Adam, collecting the dust, and then creating the animals, creating Moses. Oga Moses was, I think he may have been hiding in that bush. Guys, that burning bush. I think Moses was hiding in there. Oh, Moses was not in the bushes. Where was he?
Where was he then?
If Moses was not in the bushes, How did Moses know the story? So please tell us, where was Moses?
You know. And Moses recorded his own death. Imagine that.
His own death, burial, and all the events.
Burial thing. But the scholarly approach, well, not approach, but the scholarly conclusions are based on the looking at the text, that there is more than one story in there by different writers. Even the Exodus story and so on, when you read when the crossing, I think there's a number of different stories mingled into one. Even the Genesis story, there are two different stories, but what they realize is in one aspect there's the term for God they use is Yahweh. The other one is in the other section it is Elohim. So they hypothesized that there were these writers called the Yahwehs and the Elohimists, the Elohimists, the priestly writers, and so based on the structure of the language, the way that is written, the style, right? So, and they find that throughout Genesis. And even the Noah story, there's a compilation of stories. And they say that these things were being passed on by oral tradition. And we know what happens when you pass on things by word of mouth. These stories. So
can I just point out, so Oscar is making a note in the chat to say, people, that was me making the comments to, he was making the comments to myself. I just decided to play it. The point I was making is that God made a different person from Adam's rib, and that can't be, right? So whatever the case, Eve would have been, well, genetically
exactly identical
to
Adam, which means Adam. Then her physical characteristics will look just like Adam.
Exactly.
The expression was quite phenotype.
Problematic. And someone is asking the question in the chat. So if Adam and Eve were black, how did they give birth to the Chinese? How did they give birth to all the other races of people? Considering that the Bible story is just about 5,000-6,000 years old, how have they populated that way? Have they, gone on to produce people from other races? These are a lot of questions that the Bible can't answer for. I was going to say something just now. I forgot what it was now. Gosh, I forgot what it was. Anyway, never mind. Oh, God is Yahweh. I need to bring you up.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, I wanted to say thank you for bringing me. I would work tomorrow.
I even want to bring someone up as well.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. I hope to join you very soon, and thank you for the insight that you've given.
Keep on questioning, huh?
I always question. The Bible says question all things and all.
I don't care what the Bible says, bro. I don't give a toss what that book says.
No, but we have to be open. Like the same thing, there are some nuggets that are in there.
Nuggets! Oh, please no.
No nuggets. There's things that we can do by ourselves and learn.
Look, my son has this collection of books, right? He loves those books. He's got all the books in that entire collection. It's called Captain Underpants, right?
Oh,
so the main character in the book, when he puts on his wide front pants and puts on his cape, he's flying to go and help children, right? Under his watch, there are no children in distress. Under his watch, no children cry. If any child is crying, if any child he's off to go and help. That's Captain Underpants. Now that is a better God, than a better character than the one in the Bible. So unfortunately for me, There are no in the Bible for me. I'd rather go with Captain Underpants. At least it makes my son happy.
All right.
God is Yahweh. I see that you have your profile Otiot Ivri, Yahweh in Hebrew.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that you know you know things about the Bible in the Hebrew version, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That's all I wanted to clear. Okay,
and
thank you.
let me say that that Yahweh, according to archaeological findings, Yahweh was Elohim's son.
No, Yahweh in the Bible it says that Yahweh talks to Moses in Exodus 6:2.
But what I'm
Hold
saying,
on.
archaeology shows that Yahweh was God's son. This is archaeology. I'm not talking about the Bible, because Bible contradicts reality, and archaeology is part of reality. And what they have
There
found
is no
is,
such. Hold on.
according to the
There is
story, that
no
God,
such.
Yahweh, is
Yes, yeah, I heard
and
you.
that
I heard you.
Yahweh,
It's
right?
El's son. That's what
Yahweh
you're
is
saying. Yeah.
Elohim's son.
Don't please, let's not talk over each other. Let's give
Right.
each other a chance to speak. Please.
Yes.
Hey, Karma.
Yeah, I heard him. So there is no such historical evidence or artifacts that even suggest that Yahweh was Elohim's son or El's son.
No,
right?
nope. Sorry, you're
Historical
wrong.
evidence.
I can tell you that you're wrong. You're
Hold on. Let
wrong.
me finish.
You are
Let me
totally
finish,
wrong.
bro.
There is.
Let me finish. Let
Yeah,
me
no, I
finish.
have to correct you
Phil,
as you're
there are
saying something
let's
wrong.
listen to him.
Oh my
Let's
God,
listen
bro.
to him.
Okay,
Phil,
fine.
we'll
I
have
let
our
you
chance.
talk.
Let's listen to him.
Yes, there are historical evidence that shows that the same Yahweh is the same God as El Shaddai, right? It's not Elohim, it's El Shaddai. If you look
So
in
where is that?
No, that came up after. That El is not the same El. The Elohim, the El Shaddai does not refers back to Elohim. Sorry,
El
you're
Shaddai, hold
mistaken.
on. El Shaddai, right? El
Elohim means
Shaddai.
gods, not God. Gods.
No,
Elohim
Elohim
is
can
gods.
mean a lot of things. Elohim has a
No.
variety.
סליחה, אני רוצה להגיד לך משהו, okay? I'm telling you that Elohim, it means gods, okay? That's why Hebrew, listen. That's why Hebrew people, they can never say Elohim, they say Adonai. Elohim.
Wow, where do you get
understand?
your facts? You know the reason why they changed Elohim to El Shaddai? I mean to Adonai. They don't even say Adonai anymore. They say Hashem. They say Hashem.
Because that lives in your imaginary head. Okay?
No. Wait. Let me break it
there
down.
in
So
your
you can
head,
get some facts.
when it's there in your head, it will be very hard for you to actually absorb the truth about it.
You can actually verify these things. Okay,
God is Yahweh.
Go ahead.
God is Yahweh. You need to read about the archaeological findings. There's a very good book that I would suggest you check. It's written by one of the scholars, but there are many scholars and archaeological findings that they have found recently and so on that shows, and inscriptions that shows that Yahweh was El's Elohim son, right? And then Yahweh usurped Elohim's wife, and married her. I think it's Ashereth. And Ashereth got a bad name. Yes, which then got a bad name later in the Hebrew scriptures. The Hebrew scriptures were written more around between, I think it is 1000 BCE to about 500 BCE, somewhere between there. And so a lot of it, Ashereth was one of the main deity, the main goddess. She was a big goddess in
You don't
together
even know
with
who Asherah
with
was. That was
Yahweh.
El's wife. That was El's wife. That was Yahweh's
Right,
wife.
but
If you look at
Yahweh usurped El's wife.
thank you, Casey.
Okay,
Yeah,
and
sorry,
married.
I
He
forgot
married.
that.
You usurped El
Appreciate
and
it.
married Ashraf. You need to read
Hey
this
guys,
book
thank
called "God Anatomy of God" by Francisca. You know, his can't pronounce it.
Strakopoulos.
Yes, Chakopolo, and she has done. That is her field of study. Her main
That's
field of
cool, man.
study,
But
and there are
you
other
can,
scholars
okay,
who
can I
deal
speak
with
now?
the
Okay,
archaeology. They don't just go with the Bible. They look at archaeology. They look at the Bible and realize
Oh
that
my God.
the
Can I speak?
archaeology shows differently, and that it was
Okay,
gradually
okay. So tell me,
changed.
let me ask you a question. Tell me, what is the earliest archaeological evidence of the name of Yahweh, of the
What's the earliest
Tetragrammaton?
I don't know the earliest archaeological evidence of
Exactly,
name Yahweh,
exactly. I'm gonna tell
but
you. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell
No,
you.
let him tell us.
okay, go ahead, tell us.
Exactly.
let's give him
So
the yeah.
yeah, the earliest archaeological evidence of the Tetragrammaton is around 1000 BCE, right? 1800 BCE. It's called. It was inscripted on a piece of artifact called the Meshes Stele. You can actually find this, right? The name Yahweh is inscribed on there, right?
So
there are also pottery shards that were found in Samaria that contains the name Yahweh and his wife.
Okay. Yes, I didn't dispute that. I am not saying that Yahweh name was never there for a very long time. You are actually confirming what I am saying. Because
no, what you're
as I
saying
told
is,
you, Yahweh
hold on.
was El's son. The archaeological evidence shows that, and that's way back.
Who was El? Who was
Elohim's son.
Who
El.
was he? Who's
okay.
El? Elohim is Hebrew. Who's El?
Elohim is Hebrew for the El. Oh my gosh!
Yeah, who's El?
You need to go and do some actual scholarly research and not just stick with the Bible.
I will tell you who El is. I will tell you who El is. El is a Canaanite pantheon. Hold on, listen. Hey, listen. Oh, sorry. Was Host saying something?
Oh, we hear you,
let me
we hear you.
Okay.
So yeah, El is the Canaanite pantheon.
Yeah, he's the Canaanite pantheon, right? And you can look at all.
Hold on, guys. Hold on.
Yeah, sorry. Host.
Yes, Afro, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. God is Yahweh. You know who that is, though, right?
Yeah, can I finish what I was saying? So you got. Can I finish? Go ahead.
The same guy, he's been coming here back and forth, and he changed his name to God is whatever that is.
Yeah.
I know
so
that
listen.
voice. I know the voice.
No,
okay, let me explain.
Okay.
Let me explain. So
hold
El,
on, brother, hold on.
Go ahead.
Relax.
I didn't even finish what I was saying though. Okay, you came and cut in. Let me finish.
No, I'm not going to let you finish. This is what you've been doing
okay.
every time.
By the way, guys,
go
this
ahead.
guy
Finish
is
up.
leader of
so
he's a minister of some sort of congregation. Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Finish what you were saying, Raskilo.
Oh wow.
And please make it brief because I have somewhere to go.
Okay, go then.
All right, so can I finish before I go? So you can look up these stuff and actually verify them?
Take your time, brother. You know, this is always the thing I have with you and when you come up here.
I've never been up here before. What are you talking about? You're probably mistaking me for someone else. What is he talking about?
Raskilo. Let the minister let the minister to us. Okay, we are listening.
This is what you do.
Raskilo, I don't recognize this person that's ever been.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Bro,
I've never been on this live before.
Bro, you want to tell me you know the same dude be coming here all the time and you change your name right now? Please don't do that.
No, I have never been on this live before. What are you talking about?
Bro, don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh my God. Look, I'm gonna show myself, bro. I'm not even
don't
even like look, hold on.
Don't do that.
I don't recognize this voice.
You might not. I wish.
I have never been on this live before. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
This person
what are you talking about, man? You're misinformed. You're just speculating. Stop.
Say what you want to say.
All right, let me finish then. So, let me turn off this. Okay, so El is a Canaanite pantheon. Life according to the Bible originated in the Mesopotamian area. In the Bible, right? I know you guys don't like to use Bibles as fact, but in the Bible it says that everybody in that area knew who Yahweh was, knew who God was, and he was known as El.
The Bible is
no, the Bible is wrong. Sorry.
That's fine.
Archaeological evidence shows otherwise. And no, I have to correct you before you continue spewing false information.
You're injecting your own
yes,
opinion.
I am correcting you.
Let me finish my opinion.
There's archaeological evidence to show that the Israelites were part very likely originated from the Canaanites, the actual Canaanites.
Sure
they were a group of Canaanites. So
make sure you're tapping on your screen. Make sure to share the
live. Okay. So let me finish.
Engage in the conversation. And the people on YouTube, I see you all. Sorry, I'm not able to interact much, but yes, just listen and enjoy the conversation. But please make sure you're tapping. And can I just say, this conversation you all are having has gone right over my head. I got no clue what's happening here. How is this going to lead us to this God? All I hear is El and Elohim and Yahweh, and like, okay, what has that got to do with the price of bread in the market? Right? What's that got to do with 2023, this modern day that we are in? Yeah. So please, make it make sense to me, guys. God is Yahweh. You're losing me.
All right. So God has always been in existence throughout history of time. If you look at the most earliest civilization, they practice some kind of belief in a deity, right? So this God, right, the creator of the universe, which is the Israelite call him Yahweh, has had many names before. Not many names, but he has a couple of names, right? And one of them was El, right? And the brother here, Phil, is saying that he's saying that Yahweh was El's son, which is very inaccurate, because you can actually look this up and you can see who the descendants or the offspring of El is, and also the other names he went by.
God is Yahweh. How is that going to help me now? How is it going to help me in my existence? Whether his name was El, whatever. How is that supposed to help me?
I'm saying though, these historical facts, right, and historical findings can actually prove that there is a God, and God has always been active in civilizations where, but if you really look at the Bible, right, he wants hold on. Okay, I won't bring the Bible in. So just look at
I have a question. God is Yahweh. Are you Jewish, or one of your parents is Jewish?
No, not at all.
Okay, you can continue.
Yeah.
Someone said to ask you, God is Yahweh. Someone said to ask you, who's El's parents?
So God, as God is Yahweh, who was El's parents, were please. El did not have parents. He was a Canaanite pantheon. That means he was the highest of the rankings of all the deities that civilization worship. And if you look at it, Canaanite was the savant. It was the savant, it was the Levant. The Levant area, right? Is it Savant or Levant? I'm mistaken the two. But it was that area where Israel, Philistine, and it was around that area before the Israelite occupied it. El was their deity.
Where
In the hold on. Let me just make sure.
Where about in Israel?
Huh?
Where is that in Israel?
The
Where
Levant.
is that?
The Levant. It's that whole region
Hebron?
in Asia,
Wait.
like the whole region.
Wait. In Hebron?
Yeah, Hebron. Yeah, Hebron's in it too.
No, please. Okay, continue. I'm listening.
You wouldn't
okay.
Listen. I think this is a very fruitless conversation, because God's name is changing anyway. God's name and gender and his identity is changing very soon. The Church of England have decided that God is not male and neither is he female. So whatever people have known about this God was wrong. So now
I understand. That
he will now be referred to as they, them, or it.
But that was done to accommodate your preferences.
We're no longer going to refer to him as God the Father, because he ain't God, no fucking God the Father. No, right? He will now be called God the dictator, or God the friend, or God the whatever you call it, right? He will now be called an it which is in heaven, or no, maybe not a she, because now they're trying to move away from calling it he and she. So it doesn't matter what it was called before, whether L, is whatever is going to be called now, right? That's what's important to us. We're in 2023, bro.
All right, so let me touch up on that. The only reason why that was done is to accommodate the agenda, the LGBTQ agenda, to be more inclusive. Hold on. We cannot even identify who a male or a female is now, right? We can't.
Excuse me. That's false.
Right.
That's false.
What do you mean?
It is not
what do you mean?
accommodate nothing. Listen, the church got it wrong the first time, right? They went ahead and called him something he wasn't. They made us think that he was male, right? All this while they've been calling him God the Father. Even prayers, even Jesus himself.
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
Even Jesus.
He called him Father.
That Jesus that came from heaven could not even put it right. He came along and was like, when you pray like this. Our Father who art in, and Jesus knew that he was not our Father nothing, but Jesus himself still got it wrong, huh?
So he did not get it wrong. He knew what he was talking about.
This thing, what you call agenda? No. There is no agenda. They're just trying to correct the mistake that they have made, including Jesus. Jesus himself too made that mistake.
You're really gonna tell me that gender is non-binary?
All the prayers. No, it isn't. It isn't.
I didn't realize I was up here.
Wow.
But yes, we're really gonna look you in your eyes and tell you that gender is a social construct, and it is in fact made up. Okay. There's two sexes.
What are chromosomes? Yeah, exactly. Two sexes, right?
Excuse me, I'm talking. There's two sexes, male and female. As far as gender norm goes, there is a plethora of different genders. There's boy, girl, man, woman,
those are not
non-binary.
Those are sexes. What are you talking about?
I'm sorry?
Male, female,
She's
boy,
talking
man
about
is not
gender.
Boy and man is not a gender.
Is sex. It's a sex, okay?
Yeah.
You don't see animals or dogs. You're not calling them a woman, right?
If you
have a female dog, you're not calling them a woman, are you?
You're calling
calling it a female dog, right? And when you see human beings, you're not calling a little girl a female. You're calling her a girl because it is a social construct. It's the way that she identifies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a boy identifies a male child identifies as a boy, and as they grow up, older, they learn about themselves. Okay, they can identify with whatever they want to identify as far as a social construct, the way that we socialize in our society.
Yeah, right. And the definition of a woman and a man used to be specific, but now you guys want to open it up into a broader, broader description.
Understanding evolves.
You use a keyword, used to be. Okay, we are educating ourselves, and
because you guys are forcing it onto people who don't agree with you guys.
We're not forcing on anybody.
And because we don't agree with you guys are
They're not
canceling us.
forcing on anybody. You can choose what you want to identify as. They're not forcing it on anybody. I hear
you
that.
can identify Pastor, you can identify yourself as a woman. Does not make you a woman. What are you talking about?
Some persons have it's not just identifying as a woman just because they want to identify as a woman. Okay, it has to do with a mental state. It has to do with, and there's scientific evidence to show that there are some persons who are in a man's body that are actually women, and it has nothing to do with your genitalia. Stop, please. Doesn't have anything to do with your genitalia. It's not ridiculous because it's ridiculous to you because you do not understand the science. You do not understand the science.
You find out that you started off as a female.
Hold on, everyone. There's someone who wants to dispute what. Hold on, please. There's someone who wants to dispute what God is Yahweh is saying. He says he is historically wrong, and that's 80s cats. Can someone please just give me space to bring up?
I wanted to argue with him. That's why I wanted to give him a space.
I'll bring you back up, please. So 80s cat says there's so much wrong with his claims. So
there's too much. So many.
Exactly.
Can I have someone just please give us some space so I can bring up 80s cats? Yeah.
His name just.
I just got up here.
I know you just got up here, so I'm just
right. Take me down and bring me back later.
Askilo, you come back, okay?
All right.
Thank you, Askilo.
Replace your mama.
What?
Okay, it's gone. Okay.
Rude.
Hey, how you doing? So,
hello.
Hey, these cats.
There's something you said about the idea of male and female genders is something that's new. That it's only recently that they've been doing this whole correction and changes. Do you believe that's true?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. Have you ever heard of Two-Spirit?
Two-Spirit?
Yeah.
No.
Two-Spirit. Okay. Two-Spirit are a Native American concept where it wasn't just male or female. Two-Spirit is what we would consider a third gender. It is a concept of both. And they were highly regarded and worshipped and treated as usually royalty or special because they honored that concept. Now, we have concepts such as in pre-colonial Latin American cultures, many of their gods were dual gender. We have even today in Mexico in the Oaxaca, and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing information. They also commonly accept a third gender, the Muxes, M-U-X-E-S. In Indonesia, we have recognition of the War. The Bugis have recognized 5 different genders. This is not a new thing. In fact, we have historical evidence of multiple genders going back 3,000 years in the Iron Age and even back in the Copper Age. Historically, this is not new.
Can you describe what those 5 genders are?
For the sure, give me one moment. I'll pull up the actual gender. You have female woman, male men, female men, male woman,
and gender priest. Camera, 1 second.
Yeah, that doesn't explain what you're saying. I still hear 2 genders just being merged up together.
Where's my?
No.
Camera like this. Give me one
That's
second.
exactly what it is. You're saying female, male, men, women, male, women. Like that's just you're just conjoining two genders and making it a gender. That's so preposterous.
Y'all, this Yahweh. Hold on. I'm not doing that.
He's not doing that.
I know history was doing that, which
because
was ridiculous.
They probably realize that there are some persons who don't fall on a specific actually the specific gender, that there's a continuum in some cases, and that's why some men appear more effeminate, and they will most likely from observation use those terms. God is Yahweh. You need to understand it is not black and white. Biology is not black and white all the time. It's not black and white as religion tries to put it. You have continuums. There are some people, that's why I say there are some people who are in a male body, but they feel like a female, or they feel like a woman in their mental states. And research is being done in that area to show that actually shows that that is the case.
Something's wrong.
So just because you have a misconception based on an ancient book written by a bunch of goat herders, don't say it is not the case. Those persons were writing based on their understanding at the time, and their misunderstanding was skewed and not correct.
Also, they didn't know that the world was flat. I mean, was round.
You should know also that there are people that are actually born with male and female genitals. You know that. So
of course,
explain
I know
that.
But that doesn't mean
So are they male or female?
That's called gender abnormalities. It's not like
they are not abnormal. They are not abnormal.
Yeah, it is a gender abnormality, man. What are you talking about?
It is not abnormal. It is us that want to call it abnormal, but they are just as normal as other people. It's just that they have those.
What I mean, I'm saying the scientific term. If you're born with an extra organ, it's considered abnormal. Stop capping, man. Like you're acting like you don't know these things.
Roger, at the end of the day, why does it matter to you? If you want to identify as a man, you're free to do so. We're not pushing it. You being a woman, okay?
Correct.
What does one other person have to deal? What do they have to do with you? Why are you hating on someone else?
Because I'm not hating. I'm not hating.
And you're minding
I never said I wasn't hating.
Why do you have a problem with it?
We all have this right to express our opinions. I'm not hating on anybody that wants to identify as a woman.
Your expression should be shamed. You should not feel you should not be comfortable with that expression.
For speaking facts,
any
Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what happened. Can you hear me okay?
Trying to correct you.
I never said I hated them. I'm just saying what they're doing is ridiculous.
Why is it ridiculous? Why is it ridiculous?
Sorry about that. Just wanted to say hello to everyone and to let you know that
the identity of what a woman is something.
No, you're not. It is evolving.
Enjoy. This is being
so big. God is Yahweh. God is Yahweh. 1 minute. I have something for you. Is a woman the woman identity? When a woman is a woman, Is the woman supposed to be subservient to a man? Is she supposed to be the property of a man because she's a woman?
I need to get back to this conversation.
Yeah, well, you just made a change because the Bible did say a woman is the property of a man. So it's changing. That's why I'm trying to get across to you. It's the point is that it's changing because we are getting better.
This sounds good.
Identifying continuums.
This sounds.
It is not black and white. That's what religion does. Black and white. It's not black and white. That is why it is being redefined. We are getting better at it. So we should then continue saying that women is property since we are redefining the role of a woman. So we should keep the role of a woman as a property based on your logic, based on your argument.
Well, can you identify what a woman is based on genetics or based on anatomy or whatever you want? What is a woman? What is a woman? Huh?
Woman is a gender term. You're asking what is a female. There's a difference.
How do you identify that gender tone? How do you identify that? How? Tell me.
Not the way that you think, because some women, listen, usually at the basic level, people think that it's just X. Hold on, it is XX or just, I'm explaining something to you. At the basic level, persons who do not have advanced biology or so tend to think at the basic level that there's. Let me just finish. I'm just telling you about the biology, which is related to what you are asking. The XY, the XY.
This is not the way to have conversations by shouting at each other. Let's just take one conversation at a time, right? So at least some of us who are trying to figure this out can understand.
Right. So XY, usually they will say it is a male, or they will say XX, but it's not that simple. It is not just XY, XX. You can have other variations, and the person can appear as a female or more female than male. That's why you have some what we would call female who have more testosterone than other females, and they tend to look more masculine. Are they a woman? Are they a female? Or are they a male? And it's not just the having a womb, because if you remove the womb from a woman by hysterectomy, is she still not a woman or a female?
I agree with you, Phil. You remember the sprint runner from South Africa that was she declined her gold by Semenya, Semenya. Yes. Because her testosterone were high and she present male physiques and all that. You understand?
Yeah.
And they didn't believe that she was a woman until they had to go inside her to check if she had a womb. And she had a womb. No.
So and you don't just look at the that's why it's a mind state sometimes.
I can imagine.
It is not that simple as people think. Okay? And because our body because of evolution, it is not perfect, not what we think as perfect. So you will have cases where the brain chemistry might be that more so of a woman than a man, even though if the person has male parts. That's why I said it's a brain state.
Phil, just give me 1 second. God is Yahweh. Are you there?
Yeah.
So why do you say it is a, what was it you said? That's gender is binary. Can you please explain that to me, and where you getting that from? Where you getting
me too. I'm curious
from.
So you can have, there's only 2 sets of chromosomes, right? You can either have an XY or an XX. XY, you're able to conceive. I mean, XY, you're a male, you're carrying testosterone, right? XX, you're able to conceive, right? You're able to carry the mitochondrial DNA, right? So that's why you can never have any other variation, like he said. I don't know what he's talking about. Like
No, you're wrong. Sorry. That's why I said you were talking at a basic level. That's not correct. Totally.
Go ahead,
because you can have triple X. There are different cases. There are different variations. It's not just that determines it. That is not just that.
Enlighten me.
Hold on. Just give me 1 second. So God is Yahweh. If someone was born as a woman and now they all their life realize they don't identify with that gender growing up. I hope I'm getting it right. It's gender, right? Yes, gender. Okay. They don't identify, and now they want to identify as male. They're born female, but now they want to identify as male. God is Yahweh. Please tell me, how does that affect you?
What do you mean, how does it affect me?
How does it affect you? God is
It doesn't affect me at all. If it's your life, you want to do it.
Here's another scenario.
What affects me, though, is when you try to force your beliefs up on people, saying that this should be that and this should be this. And if you don't accept it, then what do you mean? That is exactly what you're doing.
That's exactly what you're doing. So
no,
what
that
happens?
is exactly what you're doing.
So if you come in contact with someone
Hello. All right. Actually, I have to.
Let me hear her question.
I have to go off for a few minutes, so somebody can come on.
All right, go ahead.
Give me 1 second.
Okay, let me hear her host.
God is Yahweh. Oh shit! I've now lost my train of thoughts.
Oh gosh.
Sorry.
Okay, you said so people who want to change, or rather trans people are forcing it down on you. Can you please tell me how they're doing this?
So you're forcing me to identify something, or not something, someone who, like I can't say that we both agree at something because you obviously don't agree with it anymore. So, but before, yeah, we used to agree that a man is a man, a woman is a woman. But now you guys want to change it up and say, okay, we're going to call a male a woman and we're going to call a female a man. Like, to me, I don't accept that logic, right? There's no.
You just said
you should be talking off of a payphone.
You said it's being forced. You don't like them forcing it down on you. Please tell me again, how are you being forced to someone wants to identify as the person that they think that not think the person that they see in the mirror, right? They want to they're not the person they see in the mirror, but they want to identify as the person they've always wanted to be, right? Please tell me how that is forced on you.
I don't know. I guess because you want me to use them by their preferred pronoun. You know what I'm saying? When if I clearly see you as a male, presenting yourself as a female, like, you know what I mean? It's just the concept. It's just the concept that you're a male in the first place. I cannot accept that you're a woman. There's a specific definition to a woman.
I have a serious question I've been trying to ask Roger. So, okay, all this, someone is born with both genitals, right? And their parents want them to be a girl. However, their whole entire life, they felt like being a boy, right? Growing up, their whole body felt like they identify as being a boy, a man, a male, right? But their parents definitely wanted a girl. As they grow up, they are now free to be whatever they want to be. and they carry on with being a male. Do you accept them in our society? Although that they have both genitals.
Yeah, that's a really hard that's a very complex question that you ask, and I don't have an answer for that
It's
because
not that complex.
it is
It's
very
just saying
complex.
their mind.
Can I also
their-
ask, Kama, just give me one second, my darling. God is Yahweh. When you started this conversation, you started off by telling us that there was an agenda, right? An agenda to, well, when we're talking about the agenda of God going to change anytime soon, and you said it was the agenda by I don't know who. Can you please tell me a little bit more about this agenda? Where can I go and find the memo, the script, whatever this agenda is? I would like to know the details of this agenda. There's an agenda, guys, to turn the world gay. There's an agenda to change the mind.
I said it's based on my own speculation. It's not really very.
LGBTQ.
You cannot.
There's an agenda. So please tell me a little bit more about this agenda.
Okay. I said it's based on my own speculations. You cannot verify it factually with documents or sources. But like what I'm saying is, they're intentionally changing what was written in the book, right, to accommodate.
Who is they? You said they are intentional.
Whoever is in power. Whoever had the power to do them.
Who is that?
So if scientists are empowering, they're saying that there are a plethora of different genders. Why aren't you listening to them?
I do have a question for him when he answers.
Please, go on.
No, I want him to answer first.
Oh, answer what? The plethora of genders?
If scientists are telling you and giving you the answer, why aren't you accepting that as fact? If they are in power.
Because you guys say a lot of things that are facts, but they're not. You guys say a lot of things are facts,
why do you
but
accept
not everybody
why do you accept one baseless claim over something that is structured in facts and data and evidence?
So here's the question.
You cannot measure, gender identity. Like there is no way to actually do factual studies to
Sir, did
to
you know
measure
that
or identify what a gender is. That's a bunch of ridiculous nonsense.
Every zygote are formed female before they are formed male. Did you know that you were female in your mother's womb?
That's a lie. You're just born without a gender, so you're
sex.
Okay. Wait, hold on, Kama.
Right, without a sex. It doesn't mean that you are a female. It just means you're still developing like your sex organs. They will develop in a later on time. It doesn't mean that you were this and then you're turning into that. That is such nonsense.
Well,
if it was back in the days, I would say that I will let it pass. Okay. But we're living in this era with a lot of information exposed to us, a lot of research to do, and you still come up here and actually kick that out and argue about it, right?
You think people didn't know that happened like 100 years ago or like 2,000 years ago? That you're born without a gender not born, but you're conceived without gender until a specific.
A long time ago,
yes, 100%.
They thought that only the sperm of a male juice conceives a baby. They had no idea that the egg of a female helps form a baby. Okay,
yes, they
so
did.
you cannot go off of science from thousands of years ago. Hundreds of years ago.
And in your sperm, you are living with female and male.
But
you don't know that. You're having female and male.
they've observed fetuses that were non-binary, or you know what I mean, without
I would love
sex assigned to them. So it's not like it's go ahead.
Thank you. Let's go. I want to go back to something you said. You said there's only XX and XY.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what he said.
Yeah, except there's also XXY, XXX, XYY, XXYY, XXXY, XXXX, XXXY, and XXXX, and also
And sometimes
just
the Y, the tail of the Y is disconnected. So then you have another plethora of different gender, different sexes. I mean,
those are the main ones. It's not just XX and XY. Now, are the majority that? Yes, but you cannot simply say that there's only two distinct biological combinations of XX and XY, because that's not true.
Do you accept that God is Yahweh?
So you're talking about the Klinefelter syndrome?
Among others.
Yeah, so they're abnormalities. They're not like, they're genetic abnormalities. They're not.
Do they exist?
What is normal to you?
Wait a minute. Hold on. It doesn't even matter. Do they exist?
They do exist, obviously.
Then you cannot state there's only the two combinations, can you?
Exactly.
So if I was to have like, so we can all agree that
you just said that they exist. The question was, you cannot say that there is just the two. Agreed or not agreed? It's a yes or no question.
What do they identify as? What do XXY identify as?
Identification is different than biological sex.
Mm.
And I think that might be one of the issues we're having, because I notice you use the terms interchangeably. Gender and biological sex are not the same thing.
It's just like me saying, I know that I'm a female, you know that I'm a female, but don't call me female, call me Carmen, because that's our social identity. Don't call the
Your
person
name is
above
not a
me
social
man.
identity. Your
It
name is the
is.
identity.
That was only the first part of what I said. There is a very important second part, because it seems like you have a problem with science changing or information changing. So I'm going to ask you something. Have you ever heard of eugenics?
The what?
Have you ever heard of eugenics?
You say eugenics?
Eugenics, yes.
Eugenics. No.
Okay, there was the concept for way too long, scientifically, that certain races were either better or worse than others based off of, well, flawed biology. For a very long time, it was considered that those who were not, to be honest, Caucasian, were not human. They were subhuman.
Oh, wow.
And they would address and treat people as such, even medically. But as time went on and knowledge gained and we got better, we learned that's not true. That race itself is a social construct and there is no biological aspect to it. Thus, we change. Change due to new information and better understanding is not something to be scared of. It's something to be accepted and to work at. I am probably twice as old as you. I'm going to make a guess. Even I, of an older generation, has to look at and change stuff that I was taught to get better, to be a better person, not just to myself, but to other people. So why is it difficult? Why are you resisting so much to treat people like people?
There's a
That is
simple answer.
deplorable that you never heard of eugenics. That's deplorable.
It is possible that you
a clap of hands for that. I don't know how they do all these things.
But I would like an answer.
How is that possible?
What, that I haven't heard of eugenics?
It's possible he didn't pay attention at certain points. It's possible it wasn't presented to him. It can happen. But I am asking you, Roger. I know. But what is it really keeping you from treating people like actual human beings and treating them with respect?
I never said disrespect them. Like that was the point. Like I've never said that.
Okay, then let me ask you something. If somebody presents female, but are transitioning or whatever, and they ask you to refer to him as a he, him, are you going to do that?
I mean, if that's your preference, sure, but it doesn't mean that I agree with
Right,
it.
so
that's fine. That's fine. It's okay for you not to agree with it, but if it's presented to you and you need to treat them with respect, do that. Now, hopefully, I would hope that changes you. Sorry, go ahead.
80 Scars, can you ask me that question, please?
Oh, yeah. If somebody who presents a female at the moment. Sorry, I got that mixed up. Sorry, fix it. Presents male, but is biologically female, but is in transition or whatever, and asking you flat out to ask, please, it's actually he, him, even though you know they're biologically female, do you respect the person by saying, okay, he, him, using the proper pronoun?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No questions asked. I would say, okay.
And I would beg them to correct me every time I make a mistake.
I want to say this.
Can I just say that there is someone I do know who has transitioned, right? They're now a trans man. When they told me the gender, I referred to them as such. Once I made a mistake and referred to him as a her, right?
Right.
Complete mistake. And when I realized I'd made that mistake, I apologized, right? And I apologized, and I haven't made that mistake since. I've made a very conscious effort to not make that mistake again. It doesn't cost me nothing.
Anything.
It doesn't cost me anything to refer to someone how they want to be identified. It costs me nothing. What they choose to do with their lives is none of my business.
They are not hurting anyone.
That question should not be hard to ask. Only if, okay, let me see what I'm thinking.
Okay, guys, can we go back to that God thing? Because I'm about that.
But actually, I would like, before we just move on, I would like to hear what Roger's response is to what we said.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that can be, even if he's not all the way there, just that step can be important.
What do you want?
Well, what do you think about what was said?
How the host addressed your question? I already answered your question.
What we talked about, the thing we talked about. Do you believe it's okay for you just to, you treat them with respect, you don't have to fight against them, even though you don't agree or you're not there yet? Do you think you need to fight against this?
I'm not fighting against. I'm not out there protesting that you guys are doing this, but that's what you're doing.
But you also have the power to vote.
Okay, well, the reason why they are out there fighting is because they're fighting against discrimination. They're just fighting against the laws. The over 400 laws that are being passed, that are being presented in the United States to try to restrict their rights. If there was a race thing, do you think that would be fair?
What?
If it was 400 plus laws trying to restrict, and unfortunately this has happened too, restrict the rights and abilities for people who are Black, would you think that's an okay thing to be happening?
Of course not.
Okay. If they were protesting, as in the civil rights era, protesting to get these rights, to say, hey, we are not things, we are human beings and we deserve rights, would you be against that?
Why are you comparing race with?
Because of both social constructs, and both groups are have been and have currently still being restricted because of these social constructs.
Black people didn't choose to be Black. Black people did not choose to be Black. They've always been born black.
Neither
And
do
they're raised black. And
neither do people who are trans.
Black cannot wake up one day and be like, oh, I don't want to be black. I'm gonna change to be white. I'm identifying as white. Like, you see how ridiculous these stuff? What kind of question are you talking about?
Neither do trans people. They don't just wake up and say, hey, I feel like a woman today.
Yes, that's exactly, bro. That is exactly what happens.
That is not what happens. And this, I think, is the core to, wait a minute. I think we just hit the core of the issue. You think it's a choice, and it's not.
No, it isn't a choice.
We have scientific data that shows it's not a choice. This is a biological thing, not a choice. And because you think it's a choice.
Exactly. Thank you.
So in children since they're 3 years old, they feel it. They tell their parents that they feel this, and they're suppressed throughout their childhood until they get older.
A lot of us,
that's through the environmental influence.
I mean, when I was growing up, we used to have some that identifies as a tomboy, right? Now, back in the States, didn't have any knowledge what that was, right? But now I'm starting to see, oh, sugar, is that why such and such person was very they were female but very masculine presenting, right? It was okay. We just call you a tomboy at the time, and I'm sure most of them didn't understand what was going on with themselves, right? They just found they just don't like to wear girly clothes. They don't like to play with pink dolls. They just want to play with the cars. They just want to play with the wrestling toys. Anything that anything that make them identify as a girl. I'm just saying the girl who is masculine presenting. We all know people like this when we were growing up. We all, whatever country, whatever walk of life, right? And so this idea that someone is trying to shove it down your throat, something that has always been, something that has always been right under, just there, right there. Now someone is just from nowhere trying to come and force something down your throats.
Can I ask some questions quickly?
Please do.
God is Yahweh. If you think it's a choice, right? And we've seen how society has reacted to people who are transgender, right? There's a lot of violent crime that happens against them. There's a lot of discrimination. They're treated like rubbish, yeah? They're treated subhuman. Why, knowing that, why would anybody come out and choose to be transgender?
I don't know. Let me. I gotta go somewhere. I'm just gonna be like 10 minutes. I'm gonna come right up. Okay. I'm gonna come right back up. I gotta do something, but I'll request in like 10 minutes.
I'll still be here.
No worries.
All right.
A very good question, Moni.
Well, guys,
thank you.
We've got a topic, and I would like for us to go back because this is one subject that, my goodness, the whole world is going. They're up in arms. Uganda has recently passed a law. It's heartbreaking. Uganda has passed a law now criminalizing the LGBTQ folks, even to the point of even I think it's a death penalty. The worst case scenario is the death penalty, right? And now it looks like what's this country? I think it's Ghana. Ghana very soon maybe might be joining in. And my thing is, governments are interested in what people do with their private parts. The gods of some of these religions care so much what people do with their private parts. In fact, like the Bible God in the case of Onan, he was right there making sure that Onan was using his tools for exactly, however he said, no, you've got to spill your seed where here. And the moment seed was spilled on the floor, so how did he know that seed was spilled on the floor? That means he was a voyeur. He was busy looking in, right? And this is the God that you all worship. You worship a God who cares what people do with private parts. Now, the question is, if he cared so much, if he didn't want people to use said private parts, then why create them with it? If that's because you all say he's the creator. He's such an intelligent designer. He knows what he was doing. He created it so well. So why create people? Well, and also he's all-knowing, and he knew you before he formed you. So he knew that you were going to not identify with his created body of yours, right? But still went ahead and created you that way. And now wants to police what you do and how you identify and police the private part. It just makes no sense.
Here's the question.
You can't call him an intelligent designer. He's so unintelligent.
If
Afro, is it possible if you bring up somebody? She's a believer, and she's been busy down there. Annabelle with her heart, kind of.
I don't see her. She's in the comments. The last comment.
She's in the comment, and she's commenting some things there. Yeah.
Yes, I was raised a Christian, but I'm too young.
She doesn't have enough followers to come up.
Oh, she's young. She's a young kid.
How old is she? Oh, she's too young. Oh, the one with the heart.
Okay. She has
the one with the heart.
She had 413.
Yeah. She doesn't have enough to come.
Yeah, she can't come up.
That's why she feels so comfortable down there, right?
Hey, Livestone.
You're 16, so that's why it's not you talking, darling. It's your parents talking. Okay? Don't worry. We understand. We've been there too. Thank you.
I was there. At 16, I started to question God. At 16, at 25, I started my first deconstruction. Your brain is not fully developed until 24, 25. You will not have critical thinking until 24, 25.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
She says that she has a free will, eh? God gave you a free will. I thought so too, Raskilo. Yeah, you understand. The coin has two sides.
Is it possible to go back to the morality of God? The morality in the Bible. I was having a conversation earlier on, and this particular person was saying, I was saying, okay, we should have empathy. Hey, Mr. Livestone, hello.
My Afro, it's been long.
I know, and I'm so glad to see you.
Yeah, I'm here. I was kind of down there listening to what was being discussed, and I just wanted to come up here and say something, though, not the ordinary me, but you see, I'm the type that when anything is happening in this world, I tend to take my time to put proper research. Normally, I don't want to go with the majority nor minority. I want to stay on my own lane. Do you understand? So I've been learning for some couple of days now. I've been sick, but also home doing a lot of researches. And you see, I had this whole set of research into this LGBTQ thing. And there are some findings that I'm getting at that I don't really like. Me, for once, I don't really care what someone chooses to do with their body. It doesn't concern me. I don't care about that. But I was kind of thinking.
We know where this is going. Okay.
I was kind of thinking, why should all of a sudden this be an ideology that is being forced down on some people with threat?
I'm so tired of fighting. I'm so sick of it. Like we had a whole segment of this. I think it's that box.
I'm fresh.
What did I just say right now?
Guys, can you let him finish, please? Let him finish.
I've been on this platform with these discussions. Mama Afro knows where I stand when it comes to this. I'm speaking on a whole lot of different perspectives.
Okay.
Like I said, I don't have problem with any. I even have most of them as friends, okay? And I know them. I live with them.
Oh no, not the one black friend.
The issue is, why should this be an ideology that all of a sudden being forced down to some people with threats added to it? That is where my concern is.
Okay, so I've got an answer.
Because this is so. I remember I was reading a research somewhere in 2013 when we had this former president, he's no more, John Ivana Tamos. We had the UK ambassador coming here telling him if he does not legalize this LGBTQ thing, whatever aid is coming from the UK to Ghana would be stopped. So I was like, okay, fine. It's something that generally has been passed on as a human right? But should it come with such a string attached to it? Like, if you don't do it, then I'll do this. If you refuse to do it, I'll do it. I've been following the Uganda incidents for about 4 weeks now, a month now. And I think all these things that happen in Uganda, the government is not right. But at a point, there are people in there also playing a role that we people are not looking at. They were being forced to do whatever happened. We've been in this community, we've lived with these people, we've known them, some of them we've grew up with. There has never been a point where anyone, even in my area, have ever had any issue with someone behaving like a trans, being gay, but why is it that all of a sudden it becomes something that should be forced? And if you look at this, it's not forced in certain parts of the world. It's like this is a whole agenda being forced onto the Black community. And I want to understand this.
All right. Are you willing to accept all of the information that we're prepared to give to you?
Come on, hold on. Simon wanted to answer.
Yeah, so there's a couple of different parts to this, right? So, where to start? So the idea of non-standard or non-stereotypical gender roles has been around since ancient times, right? Ancient Sumeria, for example, had what's classified as like a third gender, yeah? I'm trying to remember what it was called. Give me a minute, it'll come to me. Basically, ancient Sumeria, pardon me, you had your male roles and your female gender roles. And then for people that were men that didn't typically have or fall into that typical male gender role, there was a third gender role. So this has been around for the longest of times. So this isn't a new thing. You go to ancient Greece, same thing, right? Ancient Greece was super liberal with genders and sexuality. You go to ancient Egypt, you see the same thing, right? It's only, I'm going to call them modern religions, like Abrahamic religions, the newer ones that were around a lot after like ancient Sumerian religion and stuff like that. The more modern religions have frowned upon this. And most of the world has been shaped by more modern religions, which is why there's now such a kickback against it. For the longest time, these people have existed and have been made to question their own existence because the world sees it as being wrong. But now the world is evolving and religion is being pushed out of the big picture because there are many, many, many less religious people today than there were even 50 years ago. Society is changing, times are changing. As far as pushing this as like an agenda or like an enforced policy and saying, okay, if you don't do this, we're going to withdraw our support. I personally, like, I get where you're coming from, right? It looks a bit heavy-handed. It's like saying, if you don't agree with this, then tough, you're by yourself. But at the same time, it's trying to bring these other parts of the world up to the standard that the rest of the world is becoming, which is why there are strings attached. Because, and you said, you haven't seen any issues, but we can look across the entire world and we see issues where trans people are persecuted. They are treated badly, they are beaten, they are murdered, they are called mad, insane, etc. This has happened globally.
Bro Simon, let me say this. The part of the world that these things are being done to these people, I can assure you, these are the parts of the world that these agendas are not being forced to. Like I said, we have trans in Nigeria, we have trans in Ghana. Have you ever heard in any news somewhere that there is a trans or a gay person somewhere in Nigeria or Ghana that have been linked or been imprisoned or anything? It's nowhere. You can find that. Even if someone say that, I would challenge the person to the core because it's not here. But at the end of the day, what I'm telling you is those people rather doing these things. Let's go to the Asian countries, the Arab countries. They are the ones doing. Why is this agenda not being forced on them?
What agenda?
So hang on.
What is this? What is this agenda? Lifestyle?
So in last year, right, 2022.
Yeah.
Did Ghana not put a anti-gay bill in place?
No, Nigeria.
Was it Nigeria? I thought Ghana
was
did
Nigeria.
As well.
Ghana has put an anti-gay bill in place, which is still in our parliament for debate. But whatever,
so it's still for debate. Okay.
What brought about that? I'm coming. What brought about that anti-gay bill is the same thing that I'm saying. It's like the hands of our president was being forced to actually accept it, or it's being cut off. And
can I say something?
Yeah.
When you say hands being forced, it's just basically allowing them the same rights. The same rights.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Stop life. Stop life.
It's just like telling you.
Hold on. Let me finish. It's just like all they're saying is, if your country is not a safe space for some humans simply because of how they identify, then why should we support you? This thing you're saying that they are forcing people. No, all they're saying is that your country should be accepting of everyone, irrespective of how they identify. That's what they're trying to do. Human rights.
This is exactly
lesbians have human rights.
This is exactly where this is where I'm having this issue.
Asexual people have human rights. We're trying to deny them human rights. That's where we have a problem.
Mama, this is where the problem I have also is. I'm saying,
like, I have a question for you.
In this country,
let you finish.
In this country where I am, we have these people. We know. We do not deny it. We know. We are not in denial of it. No one in Ghana can actually come to this TikTok and said we don't know we have these people and we are denying. No. We know this. But I'm saying
you just contradicted yourself.
I haven't. I've not said anything contradictory.
You originally said that these people were not nowhere around you. You never known them, right?
No, I said I have a lot of them as my
And
friends.
then
That was the first statement I'd even made before continuing. I said, we have them in society. We've known them. We've grown up with them. I said, I've made all this statement. Maybe you didn't hear me well.
I did. It registered in my brain. I kept track of everything that you said. This is why I don't like you guys going further and stopping you right where you go wrong. So we don't have to backtrack and you deny what you said. But what I really want to say to you and ask you, do you think that passing a law will stop people from being gay or transsexual?
No, the law is not going to stop anyone from doing that. That's
okay.
exactly
What do
I'm
you
trying
think what do you think the law is going to do to these people, or the views of commoners around them?
Basically,
because from what I'm hearing,
Felicia,
from
you're
you,
next. I swear to God, you're
okay.
next. Let life answer me,
Let
please.
me go after Felicia because I got a question.
All right. So basically, like I said, I don't think what someone chooses to do with their body should be a problem for even a government, right? But at the end of the day, whatever laws are going to be passed, it shouldn't actually go against a human right. I am not in support of that. My whole thing, whatever I'm saying here is that it's just like I feel there is some part of this that is an agenda that is being pushed.
And what is that agenda? What's the bottom line of the agenda?
It is being pushed towards people rather who are not actually having this problem. Like
the agenda is freedom and human rights. Felicia has something to say. Sorry.
Let me just make
oh my God.
Let me finish.
Why can't US stand up today, go to Pakistan, Iran, Saudi Arabia to tell them to legalize gay or they cut aid from them? Why can't
we
that
do,
be done?
but they already have the law in place. You guys are trying to implement laws, and we're trying to have you not implement that law.
Never had that in mind
criminalize or end people's life because of who they are.
Can you imagine?
We don't want you to go to that extreme.
Kill people because of their how they identify. It's crazy.
Wow, can I say what I have to say?
Please, Felicia, please.
Kill people here for
Mr. What?
Lifestone.
Lifestone.
Even that, okay. Mr. Lifestone. Hey, I have a feeling that actually you're one of those people that if your friend raises his hand on his wife, you will ask her, "What did you do?" You understand? Like that person, like that woman deserved to be abused like that. Sorry about the word. Sorry, I don't want to be censored.
I'm sorry.
I have that feeling. That's one. Two.
No, sorry.
I'm sure you are married. Wait, sorry.
You are very wrong. You are very wrong.
Okay, can you correct me after I'm done? I'm sure you're married, right? I'm sure you're married. You have kids, right?
Yeah.
You have kids, right?
Yeah.
So now, as a father, okay, these things happen inside your home.
Okay.
Would you allow that law, or would you even give it a thought that maybe they are right? This thing, would you even think about maybe agenda behind all this thing?
You see, I think you people are misunderstanding whatever.
No, we are not. We are asking questions.
No, it's like this.
Why are you classifying us as different types of people? What do you mean?
Can we let him answer that question, please?
This is the issue. I've already stated this, that I have no problem with this thing. I don't have any issue. Whatever I'm talking about now is, look, I'm a black person.
It's obvious you do have an issue because you're saying that they're pushing an agenda.
I'm coming. I'm a black person. I'm a black person, right? I stand for my race. For whatever reason, I don't think there is anything the white man has ever brought to my people that have actually helped them. This is my standpoint. Maybe I need to make that clear. Whatever be this, I know we could reach terms, we could reach stages where these things will become norm of the day. I'm not doubting that. But at the end of the day, why do you think you should be at your home for someone to step into your home to set a new rule of laws for you when you are not ready for it?
What do you mean you're not ready? What do you mean you're not ready when you have people who identify as the LGBTQ among you? You have just said these people have always been there. So how all they're asking is that you should recognize
people
them,
have been there.
Right?
Hold on, Lifestone. Hold on.
People have nobody's forcing nothing on anybody, right?
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Oh, 100%.
My sister,
you know why we are sure, because most of
transsexual or gay.
You know why we are sure, because most of you guys that talk so much about this, you actually go in the dark and actually go and do things with these same LGBT people. You understand?
You see,
that's the thing.
Let me
get it.
We have advocates in your country that is rooting for them and want them to be as normal as a citizen as anyone else.
When I started making my statement, I said something. I've been on this platform. We've had similar discussions. Big Mama there knows where I stand and what I support and what I don't. I said I was making some couple of researches into this, and I came across things that were alarming.
And she asked you, where did you find this agenda? What is the agenda? And you still can't answer us.
Where did I find
what research did you find that says that they're pushing an agenda?
Yeah, because that is what I said. Why is this thing not being pushed to countries that are actually killing the people, but to people who can actually fend for themselves?
Is your research on YouTube?
My research is not on YouTube. Not everything is allowed anyway.
Okay, so
Mr. Lifestone, we don't say that what you're doing is wrong, okay? The only thing we're saying right here, right now, it is the way, you know, you people would put poor people, why not? They don't do this for the poor people, why not? This is for ages. You see, look at the politicians, they're eating all the money. They're taking loans. They're doing all that. And now the LGBTQ, now they have something to hold on to fight for their rights. And then people start to come up with a lot of excuses, a lot of agenda attached to it, a lot of that. Why is it that? Well, isn't there any agenda? Isn't there any agenda behind the poorness of people in Africa? Like, seriously?
Can I ask you a simple question? How old is American and European democracy? How old is it?
I know
England's some of the oldest democracy on the planet, so we could go there if you want to, dude.
And
Nigeria.
Hold on, guys. Hold on. For me, this is very heartbreaking because I think about the individual trans person, the individual lesbian, the individual gay person.
That's what I'm saying.
They just want to live their lives free of judgment, free of fear, free of bigoted views. They just want to live just an existence. They have it bad enough as it is, right? And now,
that's true.
Now they're being they're being politicized. This is now becoming a global
political
agenda to. But meanwhile, the person in there is crying. The person is in there saying, I wish somebody would stand up for me
and fight for me.
Somebody will not go so hard, right?
Really, you know, like really, is this what we have to give? Like, seriously?
That's just my pain. My heart breaks.
My heart breaks too. Lifestone, I have my pen and my paper here. I swear to God, please tell me where I can find this agenda. Please cite your source. I really want to know.
I'm taking notes too.
Come to my inbox. We'll do that then.
No.
Yeah.
Just send a link.
I have a reason for that. Come to my inbox. We'll do that.
Okay.
Whatever
okay.
I came here to discuss is of
Felicia, I'm following you. If you choose to follow him, please forward me that information, because I'm not following anyone like him.
All right, no problem. That will be done. But like I'm saying, I think by all means, we will get to a point where we would accept all these things. It's not going to be a problem. I'm just saying that whatever a white man has forced on a black man has never been for the good of him. And therefore, I'm seeing this same thing that happens during the time religion was being proposed. There were all discussions like what we are doing today. People said we agree with it. People say we don't. People say it's okay. Bring your fact. Do that. Do this.
No, Mr.
Okay, I'm sorry. I think you got it all messed up.
Please hold on. Mr. Lifestone, please let me just quickly understand this. So the LGBTQ is the white man forcing something down the black man?
No, it's not the LGBTQ. That's what you don't understand.
So what is
your
the white
problem
man?
is that a white man?
You know what the problem is?
Hold on, guys. Hold on. Please, what is the white man forcing down the black man?
To do something, to accept, or well, how do I put this? To actually put in place these laws when the people have not yet been properly educated to actually accept this into their society.
But it's already in their society.
But wait. Mr. Lifestone, but it's been there for ages.
No,
it's been there for ages. It's just that people that it's been there for ages. It's just that people, they are afraid to come out. Even people that they have family members. Even people that have family members.
It's not about the people that are existing. It's about what.
It's about what then?
It's about what someone wants people to accept on their terms.
And why wouldn't you accept it? You just said that you have friends. Why wouldn't you accept it?
Can I ask my question quickly, because I've been sitting.
Yeah, Simon, definitely.
Cool. So earlier, and it was a little while ago, so let's backtrack a little bit. When you were saying how you don't see crimes against people in the LGBTQ community, right? You were saying like they're all your friends, you live with them, you've grown up with them,
double talking.
Well enough. Yeah.
That's
what you said. Cool. So in Ghana, there was a study done, and it was looking at, I don't know if I could say this on TikTok without getting banned, self-harm. Right?
Yeah,
and
you guys be careful. That's why, Lifestone said you should make them inbox. Certain things you can't say out here. You can't say certain things out here.
I will say.
You're going right. Self-harm. You're going right.
So there was a study done, and can you guess the number one? So it was looking at people between the ages of 13 to 21. So young men, women, adolescents, right? And it looked at people across multiple genders, multiple sexualities. Can you guess which set of group had the highest SH rate?
What is SH rate though?
Self, and then.
Okay. I get it.
It was people in the LGBTQ community, right? So you're saying there's not a problem. If there's not a problem, why are they the highest rated people to do this? Right? So there's evidently problems that happen in Ghana. This is a study specifically in Ghana. So there are evidently issues, which is why rules like this they're needed, right? These laws that you're saying you know, the white man, the Western world is forcing upon Ghana. Well, yeah, because we know worldwide that this is an issue. And like I said, it's not just Ghana, it happens everywhere else as well, right? If you look at SH in other parts of the world, quite often you will see people that fall into this spectrum, right? So they're in the LGBTQ plus communities, they tend to have a higher SH rate. And that's because there's so much stigma around it. They're not accepted by society as a whole. So we know that these things happen. There are statistics that show it, which is why, like I said, rules like this are kind of needed, right? And it's stupid that they are needed. We should just be able to get on with stuff and let people live their damn lives. But because people can't do that, well, then we need to put rules like this in place. Do you understand?
I don't know if he heard you, understood you.
Justice in the chat. I've been seeing your comments. Hold on. Justice, hold on.
Okay.
Justice, you're saying that the US are only coming to Africa for LGBTQ only. Your latest comment is saying that why come for only LGBT, not other things, if it is not an agenda? Please,
Justice, not only.
Can you please show I'm
curious too.
And she didn't come there only for the LGBTQIA community. Let's get it right. Let's do a little more research.
You're telling me Kamala Harris left her country, right? And the only thing on her portfolio or the things you've got to talk about when she gets to this country is LGBT. That's all she's interested in talking about.
That was the last thing that she had on her mind was the LGBTQIA community.
Please, can you
if you don't know about foreign relations, then don't talk about it.
Tap on your screens. I beg of you guys.
All right. So
this is a moderator.
But Mr. Simon, whatever you said, I got you. And I still want you to understand, I have no problem with this laws being put in place. I am a man of my own, and I think I should accept things within my terms. This is where I stand, and I will forever stand where I am. If you think that it is possible that someone come to your home and force certain things shove it down your throat, not because you don't know these things exist, but it seems you have to accept it because the person says so, then I think that is going to be a problem. Now, for the bill that is being passed in Ghana, I think last time I was here with Yao Jin, and we explicitly discussed this, saying that it's just a political ideology being pushed by religion, which we both know is a sham because it's not going to work. By all means, the people are going to revolt against this because it's not being built on a solid ground. The minority think they can use because the country is about 80% Christians, they are thinking using this format would actually gain them votes for the next election. So they are not going with the current president because when the Christians, the majority of the Christians here don't like the ideology. So when they go to support it, it will give them their vote. That's the whole reason for doing this. It's not based on any cultural preference, nothing. It's just religious and political. That is why
So Lifestone, since you support...
I do not understand that at all. That went completely over my head. People just want to live their lives. They want to love who they want to love. That's all. How that is affecting Christians and politics, and just let people love who they want to love. How hard is this?
That is what I'm saying. People will always
How hard
play.
is this? They say they are shoving it down your throat. Eh?
You know, Afro. Sorry, just one word. Just one word.
This is so
You know, Afro. There's a lot of hypocrisy. Sorry to say that. And you know,
too much for me.
And you know, people. There's one thing I don't like. Before they even talk about the LGBTQ, they will actually say, you know, I have friends and I have close family.
Just like a
racist. You know. That statement is old. Okay, that statement is old.
I don't think that he has any friends.
Person. No, it doesn't. You know, and you
because
know, it's
no
actually
one
tiring.
would want to be your friend.
If a person cannot go and make a research, and know if members of LGBTQ they can have kids, then that person is still living in the dark ages. Okay, the fact that they're talking about population and all that, please, you know, guys, why are we so down? Like,
let me tell you, Africa will not be depopulated because there are still straight people out there. And the fact that you want that these gay people to be forced to be with a straight woman and live out their lives unhappily says a lot about you and your critical thinking. That woman is going to be unhappy and that man is going to be unhappy because they are living a lie, okay? Just for society to be accepting of them. Okay, that's disgusting. Let me address that with your moderator here, Justice. Shame on you. As for you, Lifestone, sir, I do not think that you did any research other than listening to podcasts and other people spew their hatred. You sound no better than a racist person that says that I have a black friend, but I don't think that they should be mixing and mingling with other white people. That's exactly is the equivalent to what you sound like. Okay.
Right.
And what before you cut me off, I would like to ask you, since you have gay friends and you support them, right? What are you doing in your country to accept them into society? Are you voting? Are you fighting? Are you protesting? Are you speaking up for your friends?
Like I said, we didn't need any of that. Because
you are a liar,
like
sir.
I said, we have them here, we've lived with them, we've known them, and we didn't have any issue
total hypocrisy
with anybody.
Seriously.
Okay, everyone, please, Lifestone.
That is what I've been saying.
Hold on.
Afro, please, let's bring, you know, like I'm getting irritated by this. I'm really getting irritated by it.
Hold on a second. Lifestone, I have a very important question to ask you. If in 10 years your child comes to you and tells you, Daddy, I think I was born in the wrong body, or Daddy, I am gay, what will you do?
What will I do?
Yes.
Like I said from the beginning, I can't do anything about that.
Are you religious?
Will you fight? Will you fight?
You are Christian?
Why fight the person?
No,
are you a Christian?
Will you?
I don't know.
No.
My
you're not listening to my question. Just hold on. Let me just my question. Would you fight for your child to have their rights, human rights, right to love, right to exist? Would you do everything in your power to see that happen?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah.
So why can't we give that same treatment to the LGBTQ people?
That is what I'm saying. That it's not like
why do you think anyone's trying to shove anything down?
I don't know how to get this explanation to you again. I'm saying
you guys got to listen.
But Mr. Livestone, you've been researching, right? You've been researching, right? Wait. Mr. Livestone, you said you did some researching and found some agendas, and you found some everything. You know, for you to actually come up here and tell us all about this thing, you wanted to test our waters where we were standing exactly. You understand?
No, I was not here to test anybody. Like,
Mr. Livestone, continue with your research. We are right behind you. Okay, thank you.
I'm shocked this is not my first time on this platform.
Oh, absolutely
This is not the first time I've come up with such discussions. I'm just saying something that I've learned recently. I just wanted to share. I'm saying this. The problem is not with the people. The problem is with who is pushing an ideology on you.
Okay, so Live, I've got a question for you quickly. Just
I don't even get why you people don't get what I'm saying.
No, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, right? I get what you're saying. It's the fact that it's being forced upon, right, rather than allowing people to come to their own conclusions.
And the fact that it's being forced on by white people.
There we go. That's what I was going to get at. So if it was another.
Wait, Kamala Harris, is she white?
No, but she don't do the laws though.
No, but it's Kamala Harris. No, the one who came to Ghana that was forcing this thing down on Ghanaians.
Kamala Harris is of color.
She white?
She's of color.
But is she white?
No, but then she.
All right, thank you. She's not white. Thanks.
Okay.
So here's my question, right? If it was coming from, so you use the example that the UK would withdraw their support, right? If this was agreed upon. If this was coming from another black country, would you still have a problem from it?
No, I wouldn't have any problem with that.
Okay. Why not?
Because this time it would have been a people recognizing their mistakes and actually accepting it on their terms, not on the terms of somebody.
Okay, but so let's say it's from.
Well, you see.
Let's say it's Jamaica, right?
The agenda has always been like it's only the white man that has a clue about what human rights should be about.
No one's saying that. So here's the thing, right? I'm a white guy, and I've been sitting here giving you a lot of respect. Yeah, I've treated you with nothing but respect this whole time. I've not been demeaning to you. Some of the other people in this group have been a bit passive aggressive. I have not been one of them. Yeah, I have treated you with respect the whole way through. Don't sit there and just go, because it come from a white guy. Like that, sorry, dude, that's bullshit. That's antiquated thinking. You need to wake up, right?
I need to wake up.
Yeah. No, so here's the thing. Here's my question.
I learned from history. I learned from history. I make sure things that have happened.
So here's a question. Here's a question for you. Genuine question, right? Where are you right now? Are you at home?
I'm in my house, yeah.
You're at your house, cool.
Yeah.
Are you sitting down or are you standing up? You sitting down?
I'm lying down.
You're lying down, cool. Do me a favor, stand up.
Wow, okay.
What?
Stand up for a second.
No,
just
nothing,
stand up.
Nothing.
Okay.
Cool. Are you left-handed or right-handed?
I'm right-handed.
When you walk, do you lead with your left leg or your right leg?
I don't lean on any leg.
No, lead. Which leg goes first, left or right?
Left or right?
Step. Yeah. If you take a step, do you go left leg or right leg
Which
first?
is your main guy, your main leg, like your main side of your legs?
That's my right leg.
Okay, cool. Do me this favor. Keeping your right leg where you are now, so don't move your right leg at all. Use your left leg and try to get out of the nearest door in your room. Can you do it?
I don't understand what you're saying exactly.
So if you stand up and you keep one leg firmly in place, and you try to leave the room that you're in, can you leave that room?
No, both legs need to move. Unless I limp on one.
Right, so both legs need to move, right? You can't just have one leg stay where it is, yeah?
Yep.
Cool. That's the world. The world only moves forward if everything moves forward together. Do you get me? Yeah. If people are sitting there being, like you're saying, your problem is it come from white folks, and I said that's antiquated thinking, right? And I know you're saying because of the past, but how do you move forwards if one foot is stuck firmly in the past? How do you ever move forwards? How do you ever get progress?
This is a problem. I'm still where I am, and I'm still seeing all these things being done to my people. But the same people, I'm telling you, it's not like the past is in the past, it's still in the present. The things that are being done to our people are still being done, and nothing is being done about it. So at the end of the day, it's not me and where I stand. It's about the things that I'm seeing around me. This is what is actually bringing up these ideologies that I have. I've seen
another thing you should add, Mr. Limestone, you know that is a small community villages, and you see our people. I come from an African home too, and you know, I know one thing is that our neighbors, our community members, they actually stuck in a religion, and they are still too religious, enslaved in their head that they cannot see anything that is different aside from that religion that they're living in. You get me?
Exactly.
You get me? So that is, first of all, that is the first step they need to do. The first step is that religion. After that, the rest follows.
I just want to know,
Justice.
How does a trans person affect, right, an individual, right, individual trans person, what they choose to do with their bodies? How does it affect people that are so anti the LGBTQ? How does it bother you? Why do you care so much? Why are you so obsessed?
Why are you speaking out against them?
Someone shared a story. This Nigerian, he's a Nigerian gay man who had to flee Nigeria because of the issues he was experiencing. He's now in the UK. He's married to his husband. They both have a home, have dogs. They have a beautiful, beautiful life together, right? Now, he shared a story. He said, look, when he was growing up, because he has always been effeminate. He has never been, never been one to, he has never been a manly man. He's always been effeminate. And so he said when he would walk down the street, the boys would gather together and they will mock him. They will mock and they will, chant and say things, derogatory, and call him a girl, call him all these things. But he will walk and do his thing. He said later at night, the main instigator, the main one out of the group would be knocking on his door for a bit of the action, right? And when this started, he was like, should I not? And he decided, okay, I'm being offered this thing free. I mean, I might as well, because the guy was a handsome guy. So he describes it. So he describes that person. So they had a kind of silent arrangement. You mock me in the day, but at night we know what you're getting up to, right? And this carried on until he left Nigeria. So he said that in his own, as far as he's concerned, when he sees people who are so obsessed and going hard on, could it be that it's some repression going on there? Could it be that it is people just, that has, that was what he said, and it was based on his experience of this person who was his main antagonizer, was the same one at night, coming for a bit of the action. Why I'm saying this is, look, this LGBTQ, they're shoving it down our throat. Look, it is right under your noses. Because you don't know it does not mean it is not there. Look, your children are doing it. Your children are gay. Your children are lesbian. Your family members are trans. And if they're not, they're going to be in the near future. You may not know it. It's happening right there. Who would have thought that the one who is the one who was antagonizing this man was still the same one at night, going to go and beg for some action? Listen, a lot of people are on the down low. A lot of people are hiding things. If I were Nyash open here, the things that anyway, let me just
remember Afro said, remember that a dog only barks on a moving car, but when a car is standing, it doesn't bark to that. Remember that one.
Can I have 2 minutes without interruption, please?
Sorry, Kama. Sorry.
No, you don't need to be sorry.
All right.
I just want to say something before at Life and Justice, the two moderators here. Okay. I just want to say that there is no agenda when it comes to LGBTQIA plus community. Kamala did not come there only for the gay community. She came there to strengthen her relationship with your country because there's such a thing as BRICS: Britain, Russia, India, and China. They're all after your lithium for which is very important for our technology. She bought a bag of money, right? And it happened to be that she heard that you guys were going to pass a law. So she addressed it. Please let the LGBTQIA community be. There's no agenda. Excuse me, I wanted to talk without interruption. Please, before you interrupt me. Okay, it is very disturbing, and to say that there's a hidden agenda, it says a lot about you guys, humans, and our society. Okay, we have to move forward, and we have to advance, and we have to be more knowledgeable when we speak. Speak out against hate. Okay, not against people who is trying to gain equal rights as you. That's all. You can talk.
Kamamata, as a Black person, as a Ghanaian, and as a Voltairean, I will stand on this platform and tell you whatever Kamala Harris came to Ghana to do, none of it is beneficial to my country. And I have my reasons for that. And I don't care about her visit. My problem
is fine.
My problem
is fine. You have every right because of our.
Come on, you wanted to speak uninterrupted. Let him speak uninterrupted, please.
My problem is this. You can call me a conspiracy theorist. You can call me whatever you think. But I'm telling you, we are on this app. Hopefully it will not be banned in the United States, like it's being pushed. I'm telling you, very soon, things are gonna come out. We're gonna be back here with the same discussion. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, bye-bye. Shame on you. But
no, he doesn't have to leave. No, come on.
He was leaving, he was dropping.
No, he was ending the conversation, and this guys, look, I'm not afraid to have differences of opinions. That's what we do this here for. But I just want to say, in everything we do, have some empathy. Have empathy.
It just
think about people, right? What people choose to do with their private parts is nobody's business after all. No one, not your business. Whether you have them as friends, whether you have them as family member, whether just like somebody, they described what happened. This trans person would go to this gas station. Very friendly staff there. They knew that they were trans, and they would discuss, telling him, he's going to go have the operation. They were so kind, every time we discuss with them. And they had the operation, and they came back, still sore, went to go get gas. and was talking with this person, and the person said, "Can I see? Please." He wants to see this trans person's bits. Why? Why do you want to see? Huh? Why are we so?
People are
Some people are just so entitled. Anyway, guys,
and I'm so shocked
I just feel that we just need a bit more. I'm not trans. I am not. But my goodness, I would do everything in my power to fight for their human rights. Absolutely. Yes. Nobody's forcing anything down nobody's throats. If they have always been, why is it now a problem? What is wrong?
These people, it's so funny that women would speak out against transgender, but they would go get their nails done. If their hair is short, they'll get longer hair. If they don't have boobs, they will go and get implants or bigger butts to feel more feminine. But when it comes to transgender women, they're not allowed to do that. They're not allowed to affirm their gender. You guys are hypocrites. And the men that is against, the men that are against men turning into or changing into women, they're afraid. I think that they're afraid that they might get treated the way that they've treated women, biological women. They have a fear that these men are going to treat them the same way.
Lifestone, you said you're very open-minded. You're going to see what I see. What do you see? What do you see? I'm curious what you see. If in the future we're going to see what you see, allowing people to be who they are, allowing people to love who they want to love. What are we going to see in the future? Please, I would love to know.
You're going to be on the wrong side of history.
It's like that is it's like a hidden threat. Don't worry. When it happens, you will hear it.
Right. It's just like, don't worry. When you die, you're going to see God. You're going to know the truth. Exactly. It's the same energy.
Guys. It's really, it's sad. Really. It's really sad. It's sad. Pathetic. I'm not denying what the West did and what they're doing or whatever they're doing, but to actually to make a tag, like a name tag on the LGBTQ with agenda, that I cannot actually tolerate, really. And the worst part is that,
pathetic. Yeah. Justice, you're pathetic.
Yeah.
Let me make sure I'm not following you.
What's Justice saying?
No, he said he's commenting on me making ad hominem attacks.
Guys, what happened to just having empathy? What happened to living and let's live without anybody shoving down anything down anyone's throats?
Afro, question. To be a moderator, should a person go through a theory or series of other? I don't understand. You suppose do they know or understand the grounds of being a moderator?
There's no ground being a moderator. I just needed moderators, and I add people. It's not, and that's I wouldn't.
These are the people that represent you.
Yeah, it's you learn, don't you? We all learn.
Because if someone hateful comes into the comments and they say something disturbing about a community, they would probably agree and allow it to go. Allow it to stay there.
It's in having conversations like this that where people stand, when it comes to conversations like this. We've never really had this sort of conversation, you know. So, but now you get a sense. And guys, never say never. These people might tomorrow change their minds. I've seen someone.
No, we are not saying. We are not saying. We are
African Diamond. You remember what happened yesterday, right?
Exactly.
Someone came in with very strong energy, but he left the conversation a changed person and even apologized.
Humble.
Apologized for his,
because we know what we stand for. You know, sometimes I would say this, we don't really need a government to stand up for these people. You understand? We can actually, as people actually show, since we are the one that's choosing the government, right? We can still be, we as people, be standing up for them to be recognized in the society, and for people to be starting to respect them as human beings with rights too. Guys, I'm a mother, I am so passionate. Listen, I'm a mother, and I don't want anything that is gonna make my brain to come out from my head.
Hello. So, someone in the comment had said hormone shots and all of that. Please understand that females also get hormone shots, right? Their testosterone is too high. They're growing beard. They feel like a woman. They like a man, but they just don't. Their testosterone is way too high. They also get estrogen shots. Okay, it's not only for LGBTQIA community. It's for women and it's for men. Men that's feeling feminine and want more estrogen, they also get the shot as well. And I feel like you guys need to do a little more research than listen to podcasts and people talking in their opinion.
Hello, can you hear me? That's true. And listen to persons who have gone through.
Oh,
okay.
I'm
really quiet. Guys, better now? Hold on. Someone was talking.
A little bit better.
Okay, your voice is a bit too low.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm going to end this very soon. I'm just very heartbroken. I can't.
Yeah. It's stressful.
Me too. I've lost a bit of, remember the conversation we had on that guy?
Can you imagine being a trans person?
I can't, crying every day because people won't accept you.
You're living in Ghana or you're living in Nigeria. Just think.
Or Uganda.
Oh no.
And you're getting stoned or you're getting beat up.
Do you remember? Do you remember the live that I was in the other day? I actually ended up coming down from there.
Yes.
Remember that live? I was really, really upset in that extent, and I didn't want to disrespect his life. I decided just to come out from there because I will find myself saying something that it's gonna, really, I don't know, like
it's
T, this is your first time coming up. Did you have anything to say?
How dare Justice have the name Justice and still saying agenda?
Justice needs to fight for the justice of everyone, not just the selected few. Come on, man.
Man. And the thing is that I don't understand why people is making a noise about using the identity, giving if somebody is identifying something to say and say this is their identity, that people have an issue with calling them by that identity. It just get me really peeved when persons want, and then they're saying that they're imposing the agenda on them. They're imposing their agenda on the LGBTQ. That's what they're doing by not wanting to use the gender terms that those LGBTQ identify with or use. And it is really sad because here in Barbados, there are a bunch of people that doing that, saying, oh, the LGBTQ have an agenda, they're pushing it on the children, really, just because they have a hatred of the LGBTQ.
And it's sad that one person has a doctorate in sociology and not following her sociology degree or research. The sociology.
And Phil, I saw one of the.
Hold on, please. Because I'll soon end this. T, are you there?
Yes. Hello. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. So I wanted to say a couple things. One is similar to what Karma said about like hormone therapies and stuff. A lot of people say it's super drastic to like take testosterone or to take estrogen. But again, like similar to what she said, everyone does gender reforming, or most people do gender reforming procedures. And like, for example, when a lady gets a boob job or gets a BBL, a Brazilian butt lift, which are life-threatening surgeries, they're an adult, they're making changes to feel more comfortable in their body. And that's really as simple as it is. If someone's taking hormones to feel more comfortable in their body, they're an adult, they can do what they want. Secondly, to address the whole agenda nonsense, I just want these people, you guys said a really good point of being on the wrong side of history, because as Black people, I feel like we need to acknowledge that this is the exact same doctrine that they were saying in America, not even like 60 years ago when integration was starting to happen.
Hold on. Let us speak, please.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, they were saying, for example, I just saw a video today from Levittown in the 50s when they were saying they moved there because it was an all-white community, and that Black people entering the neighborhood, they have a secret motive to get their kids to marry our kids and interracial couples and like they made it was clearly an agenda to them that we were forcing or we had some ulterior motives with just wanting to live in the same communities. And all we were advocating for were basic human rights. They wanted, we want our own bathrooms, we want our own schools, we want our own this, want our own that. They had the mindset of, we're separate but equal. Same thing, we don't want you to shove it down our throats, or, you guys can, have your own thing. Don't make everyone else be involved in it. Like that is literally the same exact sort of like stuff that was being said about Black people. Everything, I feel like it can be repetitive to be like, to take things they say about the gay community and replace it with Black and white. But when you do it, it just shows how blatantly stupid everyone sounds.
It's petty.
Yeah, it's like as a marginalized group, like as Black people being oppressed, if you're like North America or wherever, honestly, globally, being oppressed as a Black person, I don't get how we're so quick to advocate for the oppression of another marginalized group. We should be like, it should be solidarity and advocating. And also there's intersectionality, like I am Black and gay. It's not always, it's not gay people against Black people or gay agenda against Africa. There are gay Africans. Like, what are you like, I feel like that's such an overlooked thing, intersectionality, how people have overlapping identities. So you pushing so hard back against LGBT rights, or you advocating for anti-LGBTQ rights is being anti-African, it's being anti-Black, it's being anti like everyone, because there are gay people of every single race. So yeah, I don't know. But just like rights. Yeah, just like these people just want basic rights and what's an agenda? You're indoctrinating our children. That is the same exact doctrine that was said about Black people entering schools, Black people entering sports. It was always, there's an ulterior motive to create interracial couples, or they're trying to do this, or trying to do that. Like that's basically my point. Everyone sounds ridiculous.
Okay. So hold on, Justice. So the USA want to control Africa through LGBT. Please tell me, how is it that the USA wants to control Africa? No, wait, let me understand. That the America they don't have better things to do with themselves, right? They leave their country, leave the problems they're going through over there, and decide that, you know what? We are going to make Africa LGBTQ, right? That's the agenda. Let us go over there and go and shove it down their throat. Bear in mind, there's been a really bad track record already, which we will never forget, right? It's still fresh in our minds. Now you want to come down again, to come and shove. I don't know how can someone please explain to me, right? Maybe any of you up here, please explain to me how the LGBT can be used to control Africa.
I don't have an answer because I'm not pushing that talking narrative. That is That is a biased, hateful trope.
Is it a possible thing to do?
No, it's impossible because straight people still exist.
People's sexuality, people's
the people that are gay are seeking other gay people. They're not seeking straight people. Come on.
Also, we meet
people like
they're not necessarily pedophiles. They're not pedophiles as the
that's the religious
people try to create this straw man that they are pedophiles and going after the children. That's what the agenda. They will say is the agenda.
Phil, listen to this. Listen to somebody. A lot of people I know who are LGBTQ think racism is over.
Wrong. Blatantly wrong.
Look at this.
How did you make
LGBT
that
people are some of the most involved in politics and equity and diversion. Equity.
That's a different type of correlation. No user. Y'all see what user says? User 657. Blah 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 blah. That's a lie, bro. There are some whom I know are trying to push. Are forcing straight people into it. Very. Do you see that? I'm not saying that it might have a few who might think. You also have people who are rapists who are straight.
Right.
And try to force themselves. So that has nothing to do with them being LGBTQ users, 6'5", whatever.
Can I just say this?
And there's
can I just say
this?
Hold on, please. Can I just say this, please? If you are a straight person, a gay person comes along and they can easily convince you to be gay. That tells me that you were not secure in your straightness,
in your sexuality.
No. If you were secure in your identity, your gender, your sexuality, your nothing can change you.
So justice
says that they're forcing to. I'm not saying, guys. I'm not saying that there's some people. I've heard that it's a thing for some people. They want to hit on straight people. It's like a badge of honor, right, for them. I can turn a straight person gay, right? I get it. Right, some people that's their thing, right? And I would not sit here and say I don't know about that. But if someone who identifies as straight can be cajoled, can be easily just by someone just touching you, kissing you, or doing whatever, and you.
And how is that forcing? But forcing.
Hold on.
Is the word they use.
And you can turn. Then the chances are you are either bisexual,
right?
Or it was always there. Just that. You have been suppressing it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Most of these people that are so loud about this, they're mostly most of these people
they have something in their closet.
You find out
right?
Actually, they are so afraid. They're afraid of coming out, because the minute it comes out, it's when it's gonna lose itself. It's gonna lose that old self, that hidden self, and actually come out. You know, do you understand me? And then now, Justice wrote here, say Afro, we all see different white. Listen, he says we all see different white is only LGBTQ rights Harris came for, not for poor people. Now, I want to say something about that one. Africa needs to stop to be beggars. Wait, let me. Africa have to stop to be beggars for poor people all the time. Needs to stop to be beggars. LGBTQ people, they have very few people that are standing up for them. Okay, poor people since days back, people that be donating money, giving money. Okay, that money, I don't know. We don't know where it came from, for what agenda. Even after for that money, also there's an agenda behind it. That poverty also there's an agenda behind it. Put that one also on sticker. We should never, every time when we're talking about this sensitive matters like this, and be putting tags on it. Just come out straight. Let's see you who you are. Okay? Don't be hiding behind the curtains. We see you. We see you.
Thank you, Felicia. But remember what I said the other day, that every human in this world is bisexual. It was studied by Sigmund Freud. It was peer reviewed by different types of scientists, and it is true to this day. So I can understand where the loudest speakers that don't want LGBTQ to integrate into their society, I can understand where they stand as far as maybe being part of the LGBTQ. Maybe that's possible. What do you say, Justice? It's okay to be bisexual.
I would like to add something to that, because I definitely, like, I've heard about the Sigmund Freud study and stuff. I think definitely more, like, the majority of people are bisexual and just, haven't explored that. But I wouldn't say that everyone is bisexual, because there are definitely, like, lesbians that are lesbian, and there are definitely gay people that only like men, and there's definitely straight people that are straight. So it's like,
absolutely, that's exactly what I'm saying.
On the subject of Sigmund Freud, because I'm currently training to be a therapist. A lot of Sigmund Freud's theories have been debunked.
Right.
A lot of his theories.
But then I said
a lot of his theories are a lot of his theories are actually very problematic. He had his issues. Let's just say.
Right.
Sigmund Freud had his issues, and
absolutely.
Yeah, people now. People are trying to move away from Sigmund Freud. He will always have his name will always be known for having his he started a lot of things off, but now a lot of them have been debunked. And in fact, my school in the near future is thinking that they're planning to remove everything Sigmund Freud from the curriculum. It's going to happen. It's only a matter of time.
Right.
So Sigmund Freud.
Yeah. Also, sorry.
So let me clarify. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead, Tammy.
Justice just said anybody can be whatever they want, but not forcing the government to legalize it. Again, you sound like a racist back in the 1950s. Black people can exist if they want, but they don't have to enter our spaces.
Hold on, Felicia. Hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Tammy, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. But yeah, like you sound so bigoted. How are people supposed to be whatever they want if they're actively being seeked out, oppressed, killed, having violent acts against them? If it's not legal, if it is illegal, you want them to be out and like, what? You sound like, is that not a contradiction in your head? They can be whatever they want, but it's against the law, so they'll be punished for being who they are. Like,
for who they are,
Felicia. Go ahead, Felicia.
I must say, see, guys, I'm not saying what the West has done to Africa is okay, is right, or I'm actually supporting that. No, don't forget that. I told you guys, I lived almost throughout of the time of the apartheid. I have signs, marks on my legs from the bullets from the police.
Wow.
Okay. I'm supposed to be standing here and be protesting people's rights and all those things. But I don't want to be dwelling in the past. I need to be going forward. I don't want to be enslaved in my mind just because I was a victim. Yes, I was a victim of that, and they never apologized. That's to put the cherry on top. They never apologized, and that's supposed to be hurting the most. Do you understand? So then me coming up forward like this and actually going further on with my knowledge and researching about a lot of things that I don't understand. And I would never put my mouth on something that I don't know. I would rather keep my mouth shut and actually listen and learn something. If not, I'll go online and go and research about it.
Vinny says you can be whoever you want. Only on Sundays, Vinny.
let them be whatever they want to be. But really, the way that the world is going now, especially Africa, they're so backwarded. They need to just go forward. I'm sorry to say this. I'm not I hope I'm not insulting anybody.
No,
but really.
African Diamond, I appreciate you. But Justice, now I'm seeing that you're being very ignorant, right? And I respect you. We have conversations and everything, but right now, your comments are coming up very ignorant. The fact that Harris came to Ghana for only LGBTQ people.
He keeps repeating it, even after I clarified that.
Came only for the LGBTQ people. In fact, just out of curiosity, before I end this, let me see what exactly did Kamala Harris come to.
He came to strengthen the relationship with Ghana, because BRICS
in Ghana,
all the other countries is coming after Ghana. Their special interest is in Ghana because they have lithium, they have natural resources that we need for our technology,
gold,
right?
Gold.
So she came there for specifically that and gave them billions of dollars, right? However, she heard about the bill that's going to be imposed, and she mentioned that. And this guy in your comment, the moderator, is only pushing that she only came there for the LGBTQ community. It is appalling. You are deplorable, sir.
He also.
And I also want to address the Sigmund Freud.
Hold on 1 second, please. So this is talking about Kamala Harris. Her visit to Ghana, the first stop on an African tour that will take her to Tanzania and Zambia, is part of a charm offensive by Washington as it seeks to counterbalance the growing influence of China and Russia on the continent. Harris used the stop to promise American partnership, to exhort African nations to do more for women, and to speak about the importance of learning difficult history in an apparent reference to recent Republican push to strike some lessons from U.S. classroom. In a speech in front of Black Star Gate, a monument built on the site where Ghana declared independence from Britain, Harris said that by the middle of the century, 1 in every 4 people in the world will be African. That, of course, means what happens on this continent impacts the entire world, she said. Citing examples such as the pioneering of mobile phone payments in Kenya or healthcare deliveries by drones in Rwanda before such services existed in the United States, Harris said innovation would be key to Africa's future success. We must invest in the African ingenuity and creativity, which will unlock incredible economic growth and opportunities, not only for the people of the 54 countries that make up this diverse continent, but for the American people and people around the world, she said. Harris underlined deep gender disparities in Africa, saying the United States will work alongside African partners to close those gaps. On the continent of Africa, we know women grow a majority of the food, yet they are less likely to own the land they farm. They represent a majority of frontline healthcare workers, but face disparities in health outcomes, she said. Women are entrepreneurs, yet have limited access to capital and markets. They are peacemakers and bridge builders, yet they continue to be underrepresented at the table where decisions are made. To Cheers, she said that the economic empowerment of women will benefit not only themselves, but also their children, their families, their communities, and the entire economy. The US can also partner on digital inclusion and good governance and democracy. Man, I could go on and on and on and on. So,
this is exactly what I've been trying to say right now. People doing research
your ignorance
and going Because people try to do research before they start to open their mouth down and make fun of themselves. Seriously.
Research
The
on
last thing she said was the LGBT. Phil, go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm just
research on reputable sites too, because some of them is claim they do research, but they're reading all the conspiracy, and garbage. But they need to go to reputable sites, not go to sites that actually are produced by the LGBTQ plus persons and get the actual
information. From everything that I've read there. The main thing she's pushing is women's rights, but somehow no one's talking about that.
Right.
That's nobody's business. No, they're not shoving that down anybody's throats. No.
That isn't an agenda. Women's rights is not an agenda, apparently.
We leave the important things and just zero in on people's private parts.
And what happens in the bedroom? You guys sound no better than religious people, I swear.
Anyway, guys, I'm going to end this. I have a big headache.
I'm so sorry, Afro. But may I make a suggestion? Please delete Justice and Lifestone as your moderators until they change their opinion. I don't think that they're a good representation of who you are.
Yeah, I also like as a gay Nigerian, I love your lives. I love watching your lives and like knowing that who's moderating your chats are people actively advocating for the lack of my rights and other anti-LGBTQ stuff, and like they're just so willfully ignorant and claiming that they're doing research when they're not, etc., etc. Like they should definitely not be moderating a conversation because they'd be letting ignorant takes slide that align with their views and stuff. I also agree with Karma. I don't think it aligns with your views as well, like on your platform.
No, I'm
you want everyone to feel safe here.
Yes.
Someone. Oh, sorry.
Like, so as who you are and what you represent, Afro-atheist. I'm not gonna take the thing out of my mouth, but you know what to do. It's your platform. I respect any decision that you will take, but seriously talking, they don't represent you well at all. Seriously. Thank you.
It's for me. I generally do not. I do things because I want to do them. I don't do it because I'm told to. So, you know, it's a conversation that we have had, and going forward, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But all I would say is, it is okay to be gay and be African. Yeah. It is okay to be trans and African. There's nothing wrong with you. There's no agenda being pushed. You are not an agenda.
Correct.
You are not an agenda. Your love life is not an agenda.
Correct.
Your identity is not an agenda. Anyone who says that, they're showing you their bigoted views.
Yeah.
They're showing you who they truly are.
If
they cannot leave and let leave, it's that simple. It's that simple. There is no agenda to do absolutely fuck all. If you say there is, show it to me. Agenda for kids. You mean the kids that will go to school and they will meet trans people? They will go to school in their secret, in the bathrooms, they will look. Earlier we start teaching our children to be accepting. The earlier we start teaching our children. There was a skit someone showed on social media. There's a lady coming, a man and a lady. The man is working, he's working. Let me turn my camera so you guys can see me. 1 second. Camera. So
I'm not asking
man,
her to block
this man, he's coming this way, and the woman's coming this way, coming opposite each other. And this man puts his foot on the woman's leg and says, "You are not going anywhere." Right? And so when he did that, he locked her in and she's not going anywhere. But guess what happens to him? Guess what happens to him? Because he has decided that that woman's not going anywhere. You want to know what?
Mm-hmm.
He's stuck too. He's not going anywhere because he has his foot actively on her leg, saying, "You are not going anywhere." So the snowball eats. Look, if you say another person cannot have their human rights, you wait. We'll come back to you. Before I finish, let me.
Can you read that poem, please?
I was just about to read it.
And Justice and Lifestone, I'm not telling her to delete you or block you. I just don't think that you. I think that you should be stripped of your moderation power. You can be in here and talk all your nonsense, but being willfully ignorant is something that I cannot stand for. And as a moderator, that's a high honor.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let me read this. So this is a poem, not real poem. I don't know. It's called "First They Came" by Pastor Martin Nia Mola. Right? It says, "First they came for the communists, and I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak out for me." Thank you all very much. I'll see you all tomorrow. Good night, everyone.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Very
Speak up,
beautiful.
Good night. Good night. Good night.
Speak up.
Good night, Afro.
Speak up.
Bye.